Good evening from Howard Wood Field in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Welcome to this presentation of high school football on KLRN. My name is Eli Cadoon. I am joined tonight by Brent Bone and Karen Morales. Tonight, a pair of top 5 teams from different classes will meet in the first game of a doubleheader with the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders. When the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders face the Pierre Governors in a matchup in teams going in different directions in the second to last week of the regular season. The Rough Riders, who are ranked 4th in this week's Class 11 AAA media poll, are looking to rebound from back-to-back losses to the Sioux Falls O'Gorman Knights and the Rapid City Central Cobblers. The Knights shut out the Riders 36-0 to spoil Roosevelt's homecoming 2 weeks ago here at Howard Wood Field. Last week, the Cobblers erased an 18-point deficit to stun the Rough Riders 19-18 in Rapid City. Despite the losses, the Riders, who are 5-2 overall, remain second in this week's seed point rankings with 42.571 seed points. O'Gorman remains atop both the media poll and the seed point rankings. Meanwhile, the Governors are enter tonight's game having won 6 straight games since losing their season opener to the Harrisburg Tigers. Pierre, who is 6-1 overall, is ranked first in this week's Class 11 AA media poll and are first in the Class 11 AA seed point rankings with 42.857 seed points. Since their loss in Week 1, the Governors have outscored their opponents 236-45, including a pair of shutout wins over Brookings and Sturgis. Pierre's most recent win was a 42-14 victory over the Mitchell Colonels last week in Pierre. The Rough Riders defeated the Governors last year in Pierre, and it's time to meet the starting lineups. You're watching Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and Pierre on KLRN.
Association, which have adopted the rules under which this game is being conducted. A strong commitment to excellence, fair play, and sportsmanship are all vital to this activity's success. Roosevelt High School and Pierre T.F. Riggs High School appreciate your recognition of the values being taught at this educational event. Your officials for tonight's event are the referee, Tom Peniston, the umpire, Greg Fierstead, the linesman, Ryan Tim, line judge, Troy Hansen, and the back judge is Brett Dobbins. These officials are registered by the South Dakota High School Activities Association. They have worked hard to learn the rules and apply them fairly. We request that you respect their honest efforts in administrating this contest. Casey Miley, coordinator of athletics for the Sioux Falls schools, is the host game administrator for this evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, remove your cap or hat, and pay honor to America with the performance of our national anthem. Please observe proper flag etiquette by standing at attention and placing your right hand over your heart. All veterans and out-of-uniform military personnel may salute the flag as the Roosevelt High School Marching Band performs our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you, band. And now introducing the starting defense for the Governors. At defensive tackle number 64, a 6'3", 250-pound sophomore, Gunnar Gehring. At one nose tackle number 79, a 6', 350-pound senior, Nathan Schnabel. At defensive tackle number 74, a 6'5", 230-pound junior, Gray Zabel. At outside linebacker number 12, a 6'3", 225-pound senior, Jack Maher. At linebacker number 23, a 5'10", 165-pound junior, Cade Hinkle. At the other linebacker number 9, a 6'1", 185-pound junior, Chase Satgast. At linebacker number 30, a 6', 210-pound junior, River Iverson. At the other linebacker number 45, a 6', 210-pound senior, Gage Gehring. At cornerback number 26, a 5'10", 180-pound senior, Lee Snyder. At the other cornerback number 3, a 5'10", 175-pound senior, Alec Miller. And at free safety number 7, a 6'1", 185-pound junior, Garrett Stout. Head coach for the Governors is Steve Steele. And now let's meet the starting offense for the home team, the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders. At center, number 68, a 6'2", 359-pound senior, Mason Amato. At left tackle, number 67, a 6'3", 290-pound sophomore, Sam Coles. At right tackle, number 62, a 6', 255-pound junior, Caleb Dwyer. At left guard, number 65, a 6'2", 265-pound sophomore, Nick Pruitt. At right guard, number 66, a 6'3", 275-pound junior, Ben Cole. At tight end, number 84, a 6'2", 185-pound junior, Caden Jordan. At split end, number 3, a 6'1", 185-pound senior, Devlin McManus. At flanker, number 2, a 6'2", 170-pound senior, Jacob Betancourt. At slot, number 6, a 5'11", 185-pound sophomore, Tyler Feldkamp. At running back, number 32, a 5'10", 185-pound junior, Jaden Bourne. And at quarterback, number 12, a 6'5", 205-pound junior, Brady Dannenbring. The head coach for the Rough Riders is Mr. Kim Nelson.
Pierre has won toss and is the first. Roosevelt will proceed.
Welcome back to Howard Wood Field, and this is a presentation of high school football. My name is Brent Bowen, and I am joined by Eli Cadoon and Carol Morales. Tonight's broadcast is being produced by Matt May. Our camera operators are Mark Johnson and Madeline Hansen. You can also watch this game anytime on the Howard Wood Field YouTube channel. Pierre won the coin toss and they deferred, so Tucker Large and Tyler Feldkamp are out to receive as Feldkamp gets a few blocks to the right side. Feldkamp gets down the sideline and will get down to about the 33-yard line. And Roosevelt is coming off a 2-game losing streak after getting blown out by the O'Gorman Knights 36-0, and then losing a game to Rapid City Central last week 19-18 when they had an 18-0 lead in the first quarter. So how does Roosevelt need to respond to get back in this season, basically, and get a win here tonight?
I think they need to respond by basically just getting back to what they were doing. Last time when we watched the game against O'Gorman, they struggled with their run game, and that's been some of the most dominant part of their game that they've had all season. So they had a hard time with that, and they had a hard time passing, but we can see that they've started off pretty well with a solid 7 or so yard completion there onto the far side. But I think they need to start getting back to their basics, start getting that stuff moving again, because that was their biggest issue against O'Gorman, is they couldn't complete anything, they couldn't run anything. So
yes, very true. As Dannenbreen threw that to Devlin McManus for a 7-yard gain. It's 2nd and 3 from the 40. Dannenbreen takes the snap, rolls out to his left. Dannenbreen's gonna throw it to Jaden Bourne, and he makes the catch. And Jaden Bourne will be down to about the Pierre 36-yard line. Excuse me, the 37. That's a 2 big plays for the Roosevelt Riders offense.
Kind of a smaller detail there, but it was good open tackle there by Garrett Stout on the near sideline there on Jaden Bourne. If he wouldn't have gotten him, Jaden Bourne probably could have been gone for a touchdown there, so good job by him.
There's a handoff to Jaden Bourne. Jaden Bourne is going to have another first down to about the 27-yard line, and Roosevelt with a big first drive as they're down to the Pierre 26-yard line. Well, Dannenbreen in the pistol with Bourne behind him. Dannenbreen at the play action. There's a screen to Feldkamp. Feldkamp cuts back. Feldkamp is down to about the 21-yard line. That'll be a 5-yard gain for Tyler Feldkamp, who the Roosevelt Rough Riders really need to get going, as 2 weeks ago he struggled, and then last week he was at a wedding and could not attend the football game against Rapid City Central in that loss. And also Joey Hughes and Joey Ostermeyer, 2 big parts of this defense, are also out due to injuries in this game, as Dannenbreen fumbles the snap. Dannenbreen just has to fall on it back at the 31-yard line. That'll be a loss of 5 yards. Very fortunate for the Rough Riders to recover that fumble, as that could have been a near disaster on a long first drive, as it'll be 3rd down and 15 from the Pierre 31-yard line. As now we have a special guest who's been broadcasting for the last 3 years here at RHS, Brent Bartels.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Yeah, I see you're a freshman, right?
Yep.
How are you liking football so far?
Well, we struggled the last 2 games, as Dannenbreen takes the snap and throws it incomplete to, I believe that was Jacob Betancourt there. So.
Well, I haven't been here. Obviously, I've been in Nebraska, but what have you noticed about, the Riders this season? They come off of 2 losses. I mean, one of them was an absolute blowout against O'Gorman, and the other one against Central. You said they had an 18-0 lead and gave up 19 straight points in the second half. What does the Riders need to do here, to get back on track where they were the beginning of this year and all of last year?
Well, they really need to just get going and play the football they played through the first 5 weeks, as last 2 weeks they've just they got out to a rough start against O'Gorman. It looked like at the start of the 3rd quarter they were going to get something going, maybe get back in this football game, but then a turnover on downs and the Knights went on and scored a field goal after that, as O'Gorman just had a good running quarterback that just killed them. As now Roosevelt just turns it over on downs, and Pierre will start at their own 29 with quarterback Garrett Stout, who plays 5 positions. He plays the quarterback, the holder, the kick returner, the punt returner, and the free safety. He can also play wide receiver, but with him being the quarterback, he won't play wide receiver much, as he's in the shotgun with 4 receivers. As that's number 45, Gage Garion in motion. Stout will run it to the left, and Roosevelt stuffs at a good play by the Rider defense, as we see some good running by number 7, Garrett Stout.
Well, Eli, I want to get you involved here a little bit too. You saw Roosevelt's last drive. Went pretty much down the field and then, kind of just gave up the ball.
Yeah.
4 little passes that didn't work in their favor. Defense is out there right now. What do you think they have to do?
I think they just have to shut him out, basically. Last week we saw Tyler Feldkamp have to fill in for Joey Hughes, and he struggled big time, so he needs to step up a little bit on here. But I've seen that Pierre doesn't do a whole lot of passing in their games. They do a lot more short passes, and he struggled with passes. But I think Roosevelt just needs to keep Pierre under pressure right now, because that's been their best topic right now, is basically forcing their their opponents basically to not be able to do what they want to do. So they've been doing a great job of that up until the O'Gorman game is what it seemed like, and even the Rapid City Central game they didn't do a very good job of it. So
Yeah, as that was a poorly thrown ball there by Stout, just over the head, I believe. Not sure who that was. That might have been Jack Maher. As now Pierre has 4 receivers, as Stout has been in the shotgun for every snap of this game, which is only 2 so far. As it's 3rd and 10 for the Pierre from their own 31. Stout goes back to pass. He's being pressured, and he fumbles the ball, and it is picked up by Caleb, or it's not picked up. It's picked up by Feldkamp, and he will score. A fumble return for touchdown by Tyler Feldkamp, and the Riders get a big defensive play, which is what they failed to do against the Knights, as it's an early 6-0 lead at the PAT coming on, as that's exactly what the Riders needed, as Feldkamp, who's been filling in for Joey Hughes and Joey Ostermeyer, gets a big play on defense this time, not offense.
I'd like to fill in. There's a penalty on the far sideline over there, so this might change in a little bit here.
Yeah, it could be, as we'll hear from the referee Tom Peniston to see what the call is. It might still be a fumble, but if it's on the defense, it might give Pierre a big break there on offense, as that might save a touchdown. But the referees are having a discussion down at about the 10-yard line. We'll see the call.
Illegal formation, offense, penalties declined, touchdown is good.
And it looked like it was going to be on Pierre with the Rider PAT unit out there anyways. So we'll look for the PAT. Riders lead 6-0, and that was a huge break for that defense. It's exactly what they needed coming off the last 2 games for sure. That was led by Ethan Winter. It looks like Pierre just jumped.
It's going to be offsides on Pierre, as the kicker is number 99, Bennett Yellowbird, who had to fill in last week for Devlin McManus, and Devlin McManus is playing tonight, so we don't know what's up. Now Bennett Yellowbird's coming out of the game. We believe that was offsides on Pierre, as number 9, Chase Satgest.
Passages, ball, replay the try.
Well, I tell you what, when you move the ball a yard closer to the goal line, that's a yard that you don't have to kick. It looks like the Riders are going to go for it here and try to put up 2.
Yeah, number 9, Aaron Kusler's in the game, and when Aaron Kusler's been in the game at quarterback, it's usually just a power run, and Devontae Murphy is in there at fullback, same as Joey Otta. It's just going to be a power run to the right or left.
Look at Murray to lead the way, and I think they got it. It was really close, right at the line. The back judge calls it no good, and that's what it will stand, 6-0.
Yeah, he did look about a half-yard short, as Kusler just needed one man behind him just to push him through, but he was down at about the half-yard line, so Roosevelt will not get that extra point. It'll be 6-0 Riders with 9:22 left here at Howard Wood Field. Welcome back to Howard Wood Field, as the score is 6-0, the Riders, after a scoop-and score touchdown by Tyler Feldkamp, and Bennett Yellowbird will kick off from the 40-yard line with number 14, McGuire Rasky, and number 7, Garrett Stout back there to receive. And Bennett Yellowbird kicks it off. It's a little squib kick. Pierre touched it, and it is picked up by number 1, Matt Lusk, and he's tackled down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it was didn't seem like maybe they were going for that squib. It'd be kind of interesting to see why they would go for a squib so early in the game. But I mean, seemed to work out fairly good for them. They kind of stopped them where they maybe wanted them to be. I don't know what the whole goal of a squib kick on that was, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Pierre does with this new drive. Now that they maybe know a little bit more of what Roosevelt's bringing to the table.
Roosevelt sends a lot of pressure off of the sides, and they're going to really try to put pressure on Stout and try to blow up that offensive line.
Yeah, as now Stout is in the pistol with fullback Gage Gehring to his right, and then number 14, McGuire Rasky. And he hands it off to Rasky up the middle, and that's not going to go for much. And that's going to be no gain. That might have been a fumble. It is a fumble, and looks like Devin McManus might have fallen on it, and the Riders get another fumble recovery, and we'll start at the Pierre 35-yard line.
Another huge break by the Riders, coming off of last week's thing. This is exactly what they need right now because, as you can see, 2 fumble recoveries, and this is on the first play that they've had it in this drive, so it's a great drive, and I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah, there's a weird formation. There's only one offensive lineman in the center. Maybe they'll use a bait screen to Feldkamp. We'll see. Feldkamp's in motion. Dannenbrink takes the snap. Dannenbrink's in trouble, and he's brought down. Don't know what that play call was, but it certainly did not work out as Pierre read that perfectly, and that's going to be an 11-yard sack, and it's going to be 2nd and 21 from the Pierre 46 as Roosevelt has a lot of yards to gain.
That play was not going to work at all. As you saw, Pierre had 2 defensive linemen lined up against 1 center. Yeah. I'm not very good at math. That was my saying from the last 3 years of broadcasting here, but 2 usually beats 1.
Usually, yeah. That looks like the Indianapolis Colts whole issue they had there that one time, but yeah,
how did that play work out in the NFL?
It didn't work out well for the NFL, so I don't know what the whole goal of that was, but I mean, still a great job there by Jack Maurer by not falling for whatever Roosevelt was trying to go for there, but we'll have to see what Roosevelt does now.
Dannenbrink takes the snap, he throws it, and that's a great catch by Jacob Betancourt to keep his feet in bounds, and he'll get about 9 of those yards back. It'll set up 3rd and 12 from the Pierre 37-yard line, as they got to go 12 yards for the first down.
This is a really big drive for the Riders because they put up a touchdown last drive, but they were stopped at about the 20-yard line. This is another new drive. They get to redo it and try to put some points on the board.
And Dannenbrink takes a snap, rolls to the right. He's looking for McManus, and he throws short. And it is 4th down and 12 from the Pierre 37, and it looks like the Riders are going to punt. As we'll see what they decide to do, and they're going to punt the ball and try and pin Pierre back inside their 10-yard line.
I definitely would punt the ball here. Your defense has come up with 2 fumbles in 2 drives, so their defense is completely obliterating the offensive line for Pierre. Punt the ball, play defense, get the ball inside the 10-yard line, and either make them punt or get another turnover deep inside their territory.
Yes, and now Roosevelt's going to punt. They got number 7, Garrett Stout back to receive the punt at the 8-yard line. That's McManus punting the ball. It's a high kick. Stout will let it go, and that ball will roll out of the bounds at the 11-yard line. With 8:07 left in the first quarter, Sioux Falls Roosevelt leads Pierre 6-0. It says 6-3, but it's 6-0, and now Pierre will start out with a drive at their own 12-yard line. They're going to work it out at the 12 as this is Garrett Stout, and Pierre needs to take care of the football, simply.
Yeah, great job there by Devin McManus, trying to pin him back as far as he could. Great job even making it, maybe he wasn't trying to go for it, maybe it was kind of a guess, but getting the ball out of bounds instead of having it roll into the end zone is a big thing there because 10 yards can make or break a drive. So we'll have to see what Roosevelt can do here, if they can keep whatever they have going for them, or if Pierre maybe will break through in this drive. We'll see, though.
And that was some good pressure by Roosevelt. That was number 15, Isaac Oren, who almost got in there for the sack, but Garrett Stout was able to dump it off for a 9-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd and 1 from the 21-yard line. Stout is in the pistol formation with running back Rasky right behind him. Stout takes the snap, looks to his left, looks back, there's pressure. Devontae Murphy trying to get him around the edge, and Stout's going to have enough for the first down, and he's going to be brought down by, that looked like it was Kusler on the tackle, down to the 30-yard line. And now we'll see if Roosevelt can force another turnover.
So this is what I'm noticing. The first 2 drives, they brought pressure every play. This time, the first play of the drive, they brought pressure. They blitzed. The second play, they did not. And now they got the first down. Roosevelt needs to send pressure every play. Force the man-to-man coverage.
Yes, and Stout has not really been able to handle the pressure much, as they had a sack and a fumble, and then a run turned into a fumble, as now Stout's in the pistol formation again. He looks to his left, and he'll dump it off to number 12, Maher, and that'll be incomplete, broken up by number 35, Doug Wells, on a really good play. And these are the things that Roosevelt simply has to have to win this game. Same as Pierre, they need to complete those passes.
last year, Doug Wells was one of the players who played in that championship game against Washington. They ended up losing that game 19-20 on a failed 2-point conversion. Oh, man, I still have nightmares about that. Dan Wells, though, was one of the players who really stepped it up this season. As you saw there, playing great defense. Got burned a couple of times last year. Looks like he's matured a little bit, and he's playing well so far.
And their stout tries to get rid of it, and it is intercepted by Devlin McManus as the pressure really got the stout there, as he had to roll out to his right with about 3 riders right there. And Devlin McManus intercepts the ball, and Roosevelt will take over at about the 37-yard line. The third turnover for the Pierre Governors, and we're not even halfway through the first quarter.
Yeah, that second recovery there for Devlin McManus. He got that last fumble recovery and he just got that interception. So this has turned out to be a really good game for Roosevelt on defense. So if they can keep this up, keep the pressure on Pierre, this will keep building on them. So this is an important part of the game right now, even though it's really early.
It doesn't matter that it's 6-0. This game feels like it's 25-0. The pressure is getting to Pierre, and if you keep sending pressure, it's going to get to him eventually. More turnovers, more points. Roosevelt should win this game pretty easily.
Yep, and Dannenbrun's in the pistol. They're going to run an option. Dannenbrun with a fake pitch and keep. Dannenbrun tries to cut to the outside, but he's tripped up at about the 40 for a 3-yard loss, and it'll be 2nd and 13 from the Riders at their own 40, as last year, especially in that championship game, the option was our go-to play.
Oh, that option. Ooh, that's the play I have nightmares about. An option did not work last year at all in that championship game. And it was really Nick Hoekstra that came out of the backfield with 2 big passes in that game, and they really switched it up. Right now it looks like Roosevelt's trying to go through Dannenbrun, and it's not working. They need to switch it up, and that's a good play to switch it up right there. Feldkamp to the outside, can't break away, and goes down for a loss of about 7.
This is another big issue we saw with them in the O'Gorman game, is they did not know when to maybe go down when they probably should have. Tyler Feldkamp had a big issue with it, and instead of losing maybe 2 yards, he would end up losing 6 yards, which cost them massive amounts of time and massive amounts of yards, which was not great for them in that. So we'll have to see if they maybe change that a little bit, as we've kind of seen Tyler Feldkamp try and do that again, and it did not work out very well for him again.
Yeah, and I was about to say the same thing too. As Feldkamp, we obviously know he's athletic. And now running back Tyree Nave is in the backfield. Dannenbrun set the pass. Dannenbrun looking downfield. He's got a wide open Feldkamp. Blown coverage. Feldkamp is inside the 20 to the 10 and is tackled down, and he reaches to about the 5-yard line. That's a big play for Roosevelt, as that was missed coverage by the Pierre Governors, and that's just a heartbreaking play for Pierre, as you were about to get the ball back down 6-0, and that's just a disastrous defensive play.
I was just going to credit Pierre's defense. They have gotten Roosevelt 3 times on 3rd down, and the last 2 times they were able to, convert and pretty much force Roosevelt off the field. That time, like you said, a complete blown coverage, but a great tackle by Stout to at least save the touchdown for the moment.
Yeah, and now we got Kusler back in the backfield again with Joey Otta and Murphy at the fullback position. It's a direct snap to, I believe that was Kusler. And that's going to be another touchdown for Roosevelt, as now it's 12-0. Bennett Yellowbird's going to come on for the extra point, and that's another big drive for Roosevelt to make this a 2-score game.
What I noticed about that set, that formation, compared to the first time, was Devontae Murray. He did not have the lead block in that first attempt. This time, really got in front of Kusler, running the ball, and obviously it ended well. Touchdown.
Yep, and here comes Bennett Yellowbird for the extra point. Snap's good, holds good, and the kick is good right down the middle, and Roosevelt has a 13-0 lead over the Pierre Governors.
What's been really interesting to see is how they've integrated that power play a lot more. I remember last year they didn't use power plays much. They tried to be like options. They tried to use a lot of screen passes, lots of sweeps. But now since they lost Nick Hoekstra, they now have Kuslers, and they use them a lot more, and they use a lot more of that power play. So it's been kind of interesting to see how their offense has maybe switched up a little bit now that they have to use maybe different resources, but they've used them very effectively, I think, as the power play has started to develop for them.
Just think about if you have Nick Hoekstra in the backfield, Devontae Murray leading the way. That's an unstoppable combo, and unfortunately the Riders didn't use that at all last year.
Yeah.
What that could have... I mean, the games were mostly blowouts last year for the Riders, but
very true.
Considering that national championship game, state championship game, man, if Roosevelt would have implemented some of these tactics and these formations, wow, you could have been looking at the 2017 champions right there.
Very true.
And that was a 4-play, 37-yard drive that took 1 minute and 52 seconds that ended in an Adam Kusler 4-yard touchdown run. Now Bennett Yellowbird will kick off to the Governors, who need a touchdown drive as they have Rasky and Stout back there to receive the kicks. And it's 13-0. Pierre really needs a touchdown here if they want to stay in this ballgame. As now Bennett Yellowbird is ready to kick off. He will do another little squib kick. It is fielded by number 1, Matt Lusk. Matt Lusk will return it down to about the 36-yard line, and that's where Pierre will start their fourth possession of the game. And all three of their first 3 possessions ended in a turnover. How does Pierre need to change this stuff and score a touchdown?
I think that maybe they need to either figure out a way to get Roosevelt to be more reserved on defense, which is probably not going to happen, as we've seen the pressure has been very strong for Roosevelt throughout this game. But I feel like they might have to try and run more deep passes or even maybe more across the middle. As you can see, Roosevelt's just pounding people in the middle. So I'm thinking that's what they're going to try and do, is try and do what they're doing right here and try and get the little sneaky passes out to the sides and stuff.
And that was a great catch by Rasky, as that was one-handed, and that was a decent throw by Stout with the pressure from the Riders. That was a great catch there, as that'll be a 7-yard gain, and that'll set up 2nd and 3 for Pierre from their own 43. Is now Pierre going a little hurry up on offense, as Stout's going to be in the shotgun with one wide receiver to his left, 2 to his right with a tight end / fullback on his left. Stout takes the snap. He tosses it over to number 8, Zane Shugard, and Shugard is out of bounds at about the Roosevelt 49-yard line, so Pierre showing some signs of life, being able to drive down the field pretty easily now.
Yeah, 2 quick passes, another first down. That's what Pierre needs to do. They can also start working some screen plays, some drag routes, anything that can throw off the Roosevelt defense, because they're going to be getting into the backfield very quickly with these blitzes, quick drag routes, quick cut routes. Anything that could throw off that defense would help.
And now Stout is in the shotgun again with another fullback to his left, wide receiver to his left, and 2 to his right. Roosevelt looking like they're going to send pressure again. Stout takes the snap, looking to his right, he throws it to his right, and that is batted down at the line of scrimmage by number 9. That is Adam Kusler, who had the touchdown run last drive, as that was a good play by the Roosevelt defense, as they need to stop Pierre now so then they can keep this shutout, keep this momentum going, and keep rolling in this ballgame.
Yeah, I agree with that. They need to keep going with the short offense, the quick offense, keep Roosevelt on their toes. Because as we've seen Roosevelt do that to all their people, all their opponents, they always do quick offense, and that always throws off their opponents a little bit. They don't have enough time to get set. So if Pierce starts doing that and they keep up the short routes like they have been doing, I think that they will start to get into Roosevelt's defense a little bit more. As Tucker Large does a great job of covering there. That was a great play there.
Yeah, that was good coverage by number 22, Tucker Large, and now it'll set up a 3rd and long for Pierre, and this is where you want to avoid these situations if you're facing the Roosevelt defense. This defense is really good, as they don't make it easy on many offenses, as now Stout is in the shotgun with a couple wide receivers and couple wide receivers to his right, wide receiver to his left, as Pierre needs a conversion here to at least get some back. He'll dump it off to number 45, that's Gage Garion, and he has tackled after about a 1-2 yard gain, and it'll set up 4th and 9 from the 48. So this is not what Pierre wants.
Absolutely not a good play on 3rd down there. I mentioned that they need to start doing these drag routes and these underneath routes and hook routes, but on 3rd and 10, that's not the right call.
That goes out the window. You just go deep there.
Yeah, now Pierre has to punt, and Tyler Feldkamp has been really good for punt returns. He has returned a punt and a kick back for a touchdown this year, both in the first 2 weeks. As I believe this is number 74, Gary Zabel back to punt. As he gets the punt off, Tyler Feldkamp will return the punt. Will go to his left. Tyler Feldkamp has to run a little backwards. Tyler Feldkamp gets a block and gets down the sideline. Tyler Feldkamp to the 35. Cuts back upfield, cuts back down the sideline. Tyler Feldkamp all the way to the 44-yard line. What a return, and that's the explosiveness that we've seen all year from Tyler Feldkamp.
I will say that Tyler Feldkamp is great at making something out of nothing. You see, he takes it back on the 5-yard line and somehow manages to work his way all the way up to, past the 50. He might start closer to 7, but still, he cut all the way back to the 5. But, I mean, he's Magic Man when he comes to that kind of stuff. I don't know how he does that, but, yeah, it's always kind of interesting to watch how he's going to return a punt. So it's good stuff for Roosevelt when they have Tyler Feldkamp return the ball like that.
And Roosevelt has 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right, with Bourne in the backfield. Dannenbrink looks to his right. It is caught by Jacob Betancourt. Makes a move, cuts outside, and Jacob Betancourt will be down to about the 25. As that's a 19-yard passing catch from Dannenbrink to Betancourt. And those are the things that Roosevelt needs, as they just had a short little route that turned into 19 yards.
I like that Dannenbrink a lot better than I did in the first couple of drives. Standing in the pocket, we saw last year with Carter Lohr and Dannenbrink. They both flipped off every other possession. I like that Dannenbrink a lot better. Stay in the pocket, stay poised, and fire it from your back foot.
Yeah.
There's a screen to Tyler Feldkamp. Feldkamp turns about a 2-yard catch, and, I guess it still is a 2-yard catch. Looked like more, but it'll be 2nd and 8 for Roosevelt from the Pierre 23, as Roosevelt's moved the ball for all their drives, and now they just need to convert this again, as number 28, Presley Johnson, that's subbing in for Tyler Feldkamp to give him a little breather after that long punt return. And now Roosevelt will have 2nd and 8 with 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left, with Bourne in the backfield. Dannenbrink will take the snap. Dannenbrink pump fakes, is trying to scramble. Dannenbrink is going to run and he'll lose about a yard there on 3rd and 9. And you don't want negative yards here if you're Roosevelt, as that sets up a 3rd and 9.
And that's definitely the difference between Carter Lohr and Dannenbrink. Carter Lohr in and out everywhere, making moves left and right. Dannenbrink, more of that pocket passer, couldn't really get outside. I think they were trying to maybe fire one to the end zone. That would have been a perfect opportunity to on 2nd down, but now maybe got a yard. They're going to have to work on 3rd and 8.
I will say it's been when you said that Dannenbrink, it's a lot better when you see him staying in the pocket, which is very true, because in the last few games he has not stayed in the pocket very well. He's been very impatient with his line, but when you think about it, he didn't have much of a line to block for him. But we can see, just like this, when he has time to throw and he's patient, he's very accurate. He's very good at making those key passes. So it's hopefully he stays patient like he usually is. Because when he has to run the ball a lot, like Carter Lohr, he doesn't play well when he's like that. So it's interesting. It'll be nice to see him when he's actually got time to throw the ball and be patient with it.
And now it'll set up 4th and 8, as Roosevelt looks like they're going to go for it after they just took a shot at the end zone. They have trips to the right with Feldkamp, Jordan, and Betancourt, and then Devin McManus to the left. Jaden Bourne in the backfield. Dannenbrink in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. Dannenbrink looks to the end zone. It is caught by Jacob Betancourt for a Rough Riders touchdown. That's the 3rd touchdown for the Rough Riders, as that is Dannenbrink's first touchdown pass, as Kusler had one earlier, and Feldkamp had a scoop and score. And this looks like a brand new Rider offense, and we've seen the past 2, maybe even 3 weeks, as the offense has really struggled. They've gotten going early, though, in this game.
And I really was going to credit the Pierre defense. They have gotten them to 3rd down almost every single drive, besides that one blown coverage play. This one looks like Betancourt just beat him on the inside. Touchdown Riders.
And Bennett Yellower puts the PAT right through, and the score now is Rough Riders 20, Pierre 0, with 1:39 left in the first quarter, and Pierre really needs to turn things around before this game just gets way too out of hand.
Yeah, like we can see, Pierre needs to get through Roosevelt's defense right now. They're having a horribly difficult time trying to get through Roosevelt's defense, and it has been very rough for them so far. But still have a lot of game to play. As we've seen, Roosevelt kind of slows down a little bit defensive-wise. We'll have to see how it turns out there in the next half or so, next quarter even. So.
Yeah, and this is the Roosevelt team that most students and fans have been looking to see for the past probably 3 weeks now, as this team has really struggled, but they've came out and made a statement, as they've made some significant changes, as Roosevelt now, their goal just needs to be get healthy, and they will be a very dangerous team once playoff time comes, as Bennett Yellowbird will kick off to Rasky and Stout. as they're standing at about the 2-yard line. But Yellowbird so far has avoided them. And he will kick off another squib that's fielded by number 30, River Iverson, at about the 35-yard line. And Pierre will start. They've started around that 35-yard line about all their drives that Roosevelt has scored a touchdown. And Pierre has 3 turnovers. In 4 drives, they have 3 turnovers, a 3 and out. Or actually 5 drives, 3 turnovers, a 3 and out, and then a couple first downs, and then had to punt the ball away. What does Pierre need to do to turn this offense around?
I mean, like I said, I just think they need to somehow wear out Roosevelt's defense to the point where they don't bring as much pressure and they're a little bit more reserved. So.
Well, I tell you what, they're not going to wear their defense out if they keep committing turnovers.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, as Pierre is definitely losing the turnover battle, and it looks like Pierre is going to use a timeout right here. And that's a timeout for Pierre. And with 1:37 left in the first quarter, Sioux Falls Roosevelt leads the Pierre Governors 20-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. My name is Brent Bowen, and I'm joined by Brent Bartels and Eli Cadoon. And Roosevelt is leading 20-0. Stout is in the shotgun with 3 receivers, trips to his left, 1 receiver to the right as he takes a snap, dumps it off to number 12, Maher. Maher will gain about 4 to the 39-yard line as Pierre just needs to get these little yards to just get their quarterback in the flow right now, as they haven't done much on offense with 3 turnovers already in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to show a little bit of life there as they completed that pass there, but still not a huge number of yards, but it shows that they're kind of sticking to their game plan of short passes, and it looks like they might even take a run here as they have an I formation, but...
And that's a fullback run. And the ball's on the ground, and that's the 4th turnover for the Governors, as I believe that was number 21, Nathan Moon, on the recovery. And there's still a pile down there, but it looked like the Riders have it, and they do, as that was Nathan Moon there on the recovery, as that's the 4th turnover for the Pierre offense, and they just cannot be turning the ball over this much if they expect to get back and win this game.
I don't know what to say. Pierre is... can you help me?
Yeah, I mean, they're having the exact same problem Roosevelt did against O'Gorman. They couldn't hold on to the ball whatsoever when they ran it. They couldn't hold on to it. They couldn't do anything with it. So it's kind of the same boat that Roosevelt was in against O'Gorman, and it's just...
And obviously, this is not the Pierre team that Roosevelt probably expected to play today, being number 1 in their conference. So, I mean, as you said, Roosevelt had a couple bad games. Pierre playing a good team. Just a bad game.
There's Tyree Nave on about a carry for about 5 yards, as that, I believe, is his first career carry, as he's a freshman that got moved up last week, actually, as it is. They'll give him 6 on the carry, and it'll be 2nd and 4 from the Pierre 38, as Roosevelt's offense has rolled so far in this first quarter, as it looks like we'll have 1 more play until this quarter will end.
And surprisingly, it's only 20-0. I mean, by no means is Pierre out of this game at all. They just need to get the turnovers that they're committing. They need to get some back.
Oh, and Dan Brain overshot Tyler Feldkamp, who is wide open at about the 20-yard line. Would have been a good 18-yard gain, as it'll set up 3rd and 4 from the Pierre 38-yard line, as Roosevelt will likely go for it on 4th down unless they take a long sack. But if there's an incompletion or a short gain, they'll go for it on 4th down, as it's 3rd and 4 from the Pierre 38-yard line. He'll have McManus to his left, Feldkamp and Betancourt to his right, and he's in the pistol formation with Nave behind him. As Roosevelt just needs to keep doing what they're doing, and Pierre just needs to make some adjustments, as 3rd and 4, Dan and Brain will take the snap. He will fake it to Nave. He'll throw it to Feldkamp. Feldkamp breaks one tackle, can't get past the second. He'll gain about 1 yard, and it'll be 4th and 3, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, it is Roosevelt 20, Pierre nothing. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and Pierre on KLRN. Welcome back to Howard Wood Field and this presentation of high school football. As Roosevelt has 4th and 3 from the Pier 37, as they're going to go for this with Jaden Bourne behind them. It is a fake, and then they'll hand it off to Feldkamp, and he should have enough for the first down, and he does, and he has a first down and more all the way down to the 29-yard line. As little trickery for the Rough Riders, as that gives them a big first down to keep this drive alive.
Where were all these plays last year? I swear they've come out with different runs from different formations. They've gone with different sets up the middle with power plays. I would have liked to see all this action last year. Crazy how one season, different quarterback can change everything.
Yeah, so their offense has completely changed from last year. As now Dannenbrain is in the shotgun with 3 guys, Trips to his right and McManus to his left. He rolls out to the right. Dannenbrain looks like he's going to run it, and that's going to go nowhere. That's going to lose about 7 yards there. That just was a busted play from the start, as they'll give him a 6-yard loss there, as it'll be 2nd and 16 from the 35. That's not really what you need to be doing.
No, and noticing there that Dannenbrink came up as shaking his hand just a little bit. He landed right on his right shoulder, right by his collarbone. That's how Aaron Rodgers got injured last season with Anthony Barr going in with the high tackle. Came down hard on that shoulder. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need is Dannenbrain to be hurt, because he's been good this game, and now he'll throw it to Feldkamp, who makes the catch. Feldkamp will stumble past the tackle and will get down to the 30, and that'll be a 5-yard gain, and it'll set up 3rd and 11 from the 30-yard line, as that was Dannenbrain to Feldkamp there. That's his 6th catch of the game, as Feldkamp has been a busy man today, and he's had a long punt return, 6 catches, a carry, as he's been doing a lot today.
Yeah, definitely. He's been involved in almost every play in one way or another, creating a distraction or taking the ball himself. 3rd down, though, they really need to get the first down, obviously, but Pierre's defense has been playing absolutely great on 3rd downs.
Yes, they have, as now Feldkamp and McManus are to the right, Jordan and Bettencourt to the left. Dannenbrain takes the snap. Dannenbrain looking end zone. That's a wobbly pass, and it is caught by Devlin McManus. Might have gotten away with a little bit of push-off. No flag on the play, and that's a 23-yard gain from Dannenbrain to Devlin McManus, and it'll be 1st and goal Riders at the Pier 7-yard line with 10 minutes remaining, as Roosevelt scores one more touchdown. It's going to be a 4-possession game. It's already 20-0. This game's getting out of hand if you're a fan of the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, Stout was not happy with that. It looked like there was just contact there. The referee obviously let them play. But Dannenbrink, shoulder injury, I mean, maybe. That he came down hard on that last fall. That ball was wobbly in the air, as you said. I hope he's okay.
And there's a handoff to Tyree Nave. Tyree Nave cuts back, and he is in for the touchdown. The freshman Tyree Nave with his first career touchdown, and Roosevelt has a 26-0 lead. And now Pierre's in trouble as it's about to be 27-0 if they hit the PAT from Bennett Yellowbird, as they've just got to keep doing what they're doing. This has already been a blowout, and Pierre just can't let this get any bigger. And it's just been a struggle for the Governors so far. Bennett Yellowbird is on for the extra point.
Do you guys think they should go for next touchdown? Maybe if they get another touchdown this quarter, they go for a 2-point?
Nah.
If they went for it?
Nah, they're up by 4 touchdowns.
Little low snap, but holds
like it's
good. And
wide.
Bennett Yellowbird's kick
It's
is
wide.
no good. It looked like it might have been wide to the right a little bit, but there was definitely a little snap that maybe could have cost that field goal to be no good. And it is 26-0 with 9:34 left in the second quarter. We'll be right back in a moment in KLRN. Welcome back to Howard Field in this presentation of high school football. My name is Brent Bowen, and I'm joined by Brent Bartels and Eli Cadoon. Roosevelt has a 26-0 lead with 9:34 remaining. Bennett Yellowbird will kick off, and he will do another little short kick that will be fielded. That's by number 23, and he gets a hole as that was number 23, Cade Hinkle, as he caught that on the run and will return it all the way to the Pier 47. Best starting field position for the Governors as they need a score right here.
It's very interesting to see how Bennett Yellowbird has been kicking those balls. He has not been kicking them very deep, which is, I don't know if that's strategy or if that's just trying to get used to the tee, but yeah, I'm just kind of curious as to why he keeps kicking them very short, towards like the 30-yard line, but I'm not sure what the whole strategy behind that is.
And if they really wanted Stout to get the ball, they could just put him in the middle row.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw Stout, but then I looked again and he was back where he was. As Stout is in the pistol with one receiver to each side with the running back behind him. He's back to pass. He's pressured. He throws it off to number 12, and that's to number 12, Jack Maher, and that was a great catch by Maher. As that'll be all the way down to about the 29, 30 yard. They'll mark him down at the 32, and that's the big play Pierre needed on offense.
They got to start taking advantage of the one-on-one situations. That was Wells that got beat. He's been pretty good this game. Just had one bad mistake right there, getting beat. But Pierre, if they could take advantage of these one-on-ones, the Riders keep playing man defense, it could go in their favor, and they could slowly get back into this game.
Very true, because that's the biggest play we've seen them have all night. So if that's what they keep up, if they keep using that, that'll help them a lot in this game, as Roosevelt's just kind of mowed them down most of the time here.
And now here comes Stout in the pistol, and he'll pass it again, and that ball is too high for Maher, and that's been his main number one target tonight, as Maher already has 3 catches tonight, and he has 3 of the 6 completions that Stout has tonight, and he's probably got a few more targets along with that have been incomplete passes, as maybe they're running their offense through Jack Maher.
And quickly, there was a corner blitz from Tyler Feldkamp on that far side. And that's just something that Stout needs to recognize really quickly. There was nobody over there defensively, and that could have been a huge gain for Pierre.
And that's what happened against the O'Gorman Knights a couple weeks ago. But O'Gorman recognized it, and they threw it off for an easy touchdown, as that was dropped by number 8, Zane Shugard. And it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Governors from the Roosevelt 32, as this is 4th down territory at this point. I mean, they're down 26-0. You got to get back in this game somehow and take at least some momentum to make adjustments in the locker room, as Stout has trips to his left, single man to his right. He's alone in the backfield. Roosevelt sends pressure. Odd on the outside, doesn't see him. He gets hit hard, but he'll overthrow his man. looked like he was going for number 12 Maher again, and Pierre is likely going to go for a 4th down conversion here.
Yeah, it's about the only thing you can do. You're that close to the Roosevelt end zone. I mean, I wouldn't risk punting it that close. I don't know how good of their punters. They haven't had to punt many balls because they've kind of, not to be mean or anything, but they've turned it over 4 or 5 times, so they haven't really used their punter much. But I mean, I wouldn't risk punting it this close. I mean, you catch the wind a little bit and you'll send it into the end zone, no problem. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can convert here.
Stout takes the snap. He's going deep. That ball is intercepted by Tyler Feldkamp, and he's going to return it. He is going to be down at the 7-yard line. That's the 5th Pierre turnover, and he should have just knocked that ball down so then they get the ball at the 32-yard line. But
exactly.
they lose 25 yards, and now they have to go 90. They lose 26 yards, and now they have to go 94 yards for the touchdown instead of 68.
And it looks like the Riders, they're just happy that they got another turnover. But yes, exactly what you were saying, Brent, that a drop or a deflection or anything right there would have started the Riders at the 32 instead of way back in their own territory. But Feldkamp, an interception, pad his own stats, I guess, and I'll have to go a lot longer this time.
But that's the 5th turnover for the Riders, so they'll take that. And they might have just drawn Pierre offsides, and there's a flag, either for a false start or an offsides, and we'll check with the penalty with referee Tom Peniston.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. Number 74. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, this is going a little bit back, but I can vouch for Tyler Feldkamp in that situation. You get the opportunity to catch a ball, you catch it. You don't throw that thing down, you catch it. So, I mean, I can vouch for that. I've been in there. I've done that. It might have, I can vouch. I'm giving him a little bit of credit. I can vouch for that, so, I mean.
Absolutely great defense there by Cade Hinkle, getting into the backfield, creating pressure on Feldkamp and Benincourt. And, well, as you saw there, deflection, 2nd down.
And it'll be 2nd and 5 for Roosevelt from the Pierre 11 as they got them to jump off sides to gain a few yards to give them a little breathing room now, as they'll have trips to the right and a lone receiver to the left. And that lone receiver is Mike Paulson with Jaden Bourne to his left. With Jaden Bourne to Dannemring's left as he's in the shotgun. As Roosevelt maybe having a little miscommunication here. There's 5 seconds left on the play clock, and Kim Nelson's going to use a timeout.
I have to say I don't agree with that timeout there. You're up 26-0. Simply just call or audible into a run and run the ball. Not much that Pierre's been able to do to stop it. I don't see why you would need to call a timeout in that situation.
Yeah, that's a pretty true statement there. But we'll have to see what Roosevelt's going to come up with after this timeout, and we will be back in just a little bit.
Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. Roosevelt leads the Pierre Governors 26-0 with 8:19 left in the second quarter as Dannemring is in the shotgun with trips to his right. Dannemring takes a snap, play action to Bourne. Dannemring rolling, he's got to get rid of it, and he throws it away. Smart decision not to take that safety, as that was intended for Jacob Betancourt, and it'll be 3rd and 5 from their own 11 as Roosevelt just simply has not been stopped by this Pierre defense.
I will say that's been an interesting thing that's been kind of new with Brady. Most of the time when he gets in that situation where he has to scramble, he holds onto the ball too long and he either gets caught in a sack or he gets caught with intentional grounding because he just throws it way out of nowhere. So it's good to see that they maybe have showed him, like, hey, you need to do this instead of holding onto the ball too long, because if he would have done that, he would have given up a safety. So it's good to see that he's no longer doing that, and he's maybe getting rid of the ball and knowing when it's a good time to get rid of it.
And there's a handoff to Jaden Bourne up the middle, and Jaden Bourne just trucks through, and that's going to be enough for a Roosevelt first down. That's going to be 7 yards down to the 18, and 3rd and 5. Not really many people expected them to run the ball, but Pierre didn't stop it, and they haven't been able to stop Roosevelt offense all game as they just continued to roll.
And I got to say there that they can run the ball pretty well. Looks like they can hand the ball off, and we've seen some sweeps tonight as well. They can just pick apart this Pierre defense. And we keep seeing Dannenbrink throw the ball here lately, so maybe they want to switch that run, use some more of that clock. I mean, they are up four possessions. I would say just continue to run the ball.
And Dannenbrink takes the snap and is sacked back in the backfield. That's going to be a big loss, and they're going to be all the way down to back to the 8-yard line. That's not what you want to see, and it's going to be 2nd and 20 from the 8-yard line.
It's a situation where I was talking about before where, I mean, you can't really do much there, but, like, in a situation like that, he might have held on to the ball maybe a little bit longer than he should have, but you can't bash him too much because, I mean, you can't really help that the pocket collapses on you and there's not much you can do there, so.
And that's almost the first time we've seen Pierre really bring a ton of pressure. 8 guys sent through the line, creating that one-on-one defense for Pierre, but yeah, the defense was able to get to Dannenbrink that time, and I think they need to start sending 8 more.
Yeah, they need to keep doing that. That's been the best thing I've seen them do all night, so.
There's a sweep to Feldkamp to the right. Feldkamp gets the edge, and he's going to get a lot of this yardage back. He's all the way down to the 22-yard line, and it'll set up 3rd and reasonable. It'll be 3rd and 7. 3rd and about 7, 3rd and 5 maybe from the 23-yard line.
And a huge missed tackle there by Trenton Gore. Came flying through the backfield and just could not stop Feldkamp. There we go.
Speedster.
Yeah, and Feldkamp was able to cut to the outside, get most of those yards back.
Yeah.
There's a fake sweep and a handoff to Bourne, and that's not going to work this time, as that's stuffed at about the 25-yard line, and it'll be 4th and 3, and that'll force the Rough Riders to punt the ball. And Pierre that might be their first stop that they've had all game, maybe their second, not really sure. But Roosevelt has just been able to drive down the field and score most offensive drives, and I guess this is good to see for Pierre as the defense has struggled. They've just struggled on all phases of the ball, and now Devlin McManus will punt the ball away to number 7. The quarterback, Garrett Stout, who's back to receive. McManus punts the ball away. Stout will call for the fair catch, and he will fair catch it at the 48-yard line, and that's where Pierre will start their next drive. And they've got good field position, just like their last drive that ended up in an interception by Stout, and Pierre really needs to pound it into the end zone, as they just haven't really been able to answer the Rough Riders all game long.
Yeah, this game isn't too far out of reach for Pierre at this point, but if they don't start kicking it into gear a little bit here and start moving their way downfield and threatening Roosevelt a little bit more, then it might be too far for them to come back from.
As Stout is in the shotgun with 2 receivers to his left, nobody to the right of him, as he's alone back in the backfield with a man in motion. There's a run to the right as Stout trips and fell a little bit. He's going to be about a half a yard short. That'll be about a 9.5-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd and very short for the Governors.
And I really like that by Stout. The Riders had lined up nobody on that side. If the Riders continue to bring pressure like they have all night and put some guys over on that right or the far side of the field, they would have been able to stop that run. But since Stout noticed that nobody was over there, Feldkamp was more over into the middle. A great run for him, a great hole, and there's another one.
He's got a nice little spin move. He keeps doing that. That's nice. He's gotten that on twice on people. That's nice.
And does move the chains as well. A first down for Pierre. And as you say, they can keep clicking them just a little bit here. Maybe start using some passes from one-on-ones. You find yourself in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be there in no time.
And now Stout is in the shotgun with nobody with him in the backfield, which we've seen that a lot from him. A couple times he's ran the ball, a few times actually, 3-4 times, and he's got 1 receiver to his left. Roosevelt looks like they're going to send about 5-6 guys in now. Now they're going to back up a little bit. They'll send 4. He'll run to the left, and he's got a big hole. That's Stout again. We've seen 3 quarterback runs this drive, and that'll be 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2, and Pierre is just they've responded to what Roosevelt has given them, and they've driven down the field pretty easily here.
I really like what Pierre is starting to do. A run to the right, a run up the middle, and a run to the left 3 consecutive times. They're not trying to pass the ball, which, I mean, I do like the one-on-one matchup you see on the far side there and on the near side. But if they're going to give you holes on the left and the right, Stout is easily going to take them, and especially on that last play when there was no pressure at all, an easy 8-yard gain.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder in this situation. I mean, why would you run through the middle where there's like 7 guys where you could run around the one side where there's 1 guy? So, I mean, it's good. It's nice to see that they're switching it up. They haven't run the same play consecutively like they were before, so.
And Stout rolled out to the right on a play action and just didn't really throw it to anybody, either overshot a man or undershot a man, and it'll be 3rd and 2, and we just expect another quarterback run here. And this is, again, 4th down territory. They're going to go for it. They're not going to punt it or settle for a field goal here when they're down by 4 touchdowns. As Stout has 2 men to his right, 1 to his left. He's in the shotgun by himself once again. And he will take the snap, and he's just going to run it up the middle, and he will have enough for a 1st down to the 28-yard line. That's about 23-yard line, excuse me. 7-yard gain.
He hit 2 spin moves now, and that was nice. I mean, he's still getting people with that. I mean, people know it's coming, but he's still getting them with it.
So by your logic, he could just do little spins down the
just
entire
spins
field.
down the whole field. He'd be beating people. He'd beat everyone. He's got a nice little spin move. That's nice.
I find it kind of almost different that he's lining up 6 yards back to try to take the draw instead of a quick 3, maybe gash a quick hole, but. Look at that, 6 yards back, waits for it, and gets a couple yards.
He thinks that it maybe like from a running back's perspective. He's getting distance, that way you can kind of see it develop a little bit more, which is interesting to see out of a quarterback because you don't usually see that. Like you said, they're usually 3 yards, 4 yards back at most, so they can get out of there quick if they need to. But it's he thinks of it kind of in a different way than maybe most quarterbacks would.
And now Stout's in the pistol with Rasky behind him, as they haven't really handed in the ball a whole lot, only a couple times. That ball is almost intercepted. Looked like he was going right to McManus, but that will fall in the end zone incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down and 8 from the Roosevelt 21. And once again, they're going to go for it on 4th down. They need touchdowns, not field goals. And with 3:26 left, they're going to try and score the ball here and not give Roosevelt the ball with a lot of time left.
The offensive line completely fell apart on that last drive. I don't think Stout was trying to go for a touchdown pass there. Just happened to throw it away, and luckily it wasn't intercepted. McManus was back there ready for it, but just over his head. So third and 8 here. This is a big 3rd down. Roosevelt needs to play some good defense. I bet they send pressure.
And now there's a lot of pressure there. Stout up the middle. A lot of contact that was nearly intercepted, and they're going to throw the pass interference flag, as that was a lot of contact by Doug Wells on Maher, as you could see a lot of grabbing there, as they're probably going to get Wells for holding instead of pass interference, and that'll give Pierre an automatic 1st down inside the 10-yard line probably.
Yeah, I like that call. There was a lot of contact. I don't know if we'll get a replay or not, but there was a lot of contact between the 2 guys in the backfield there, and it was a pretty obvious flag.
Pass interference, defense. Number 35, half the distance goal, 1st down.
And that was a pass interference on Doug Wells, as we expected, and now it'll be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line, unless... And it's going to be 1st and 10, as the 1st down marker is at about the half-yard line. It's not 1st and goal. You don't see this very often, but...
It's about as close as you can get without 1st and goal. I mean, goodness.
Stout is alone with 2 receivers, and it looks like he's got to throw it to number 45.
Ooh, what a catch!
That was nice.
Ooh, goes up to get it.
You laid out for that one. That was nice.
And that's a pure touchdown. It's 20. That's the 2nd good catch that we've seen from Gage Gehring. He had a one-handed catch at about the 45 earlier in the 1st quarter, as that was a great catch to put Pierre on the board, and now on to kick it. That's number 11, Karsten Miller, to kick the extra point.
And realistically, I don't like this call that they're going for the PAT. I think you got to go for the 2.
Yeah,
if you go for the 2 3 times, you're within a field goal.
Yeah.
I don't like this PAT call.
Yeah, you're down by this much, might as well.
And it's blocked. Look at that. Where did we see a block last year, or should I say a missed extra point?
At the Brandon Valley Roosevelt game, that was exciting.
Oh, what an exciting game! Were you here for that, Brett?
No, I was not. But
Oh,
I
man.
heard of that. That was amazing. When
That
I
was
heard
a triple overtime and missed it. And missed the extra point.
Oh, I've still got that tape. I get goosebumps looking at that. It was that end as well.
It was
on
this end
on the
too,
north
and
side.
They missed it wide right. Oh, I remember that. That was a fun one. That was a fun one.
We were freaking out. We didn't know what to say. we were speechless.
He just kind of left it.
So, anyways, the Riders are up 26-6. We'll be right back for the kickoff.
Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. With 2:57 left in the second quarter, it is Roosevelt 26 and Pierre 6. After Pierre scored a touchdown and a nice touchdown catch by Gage Gary, and that was a 8-play, 52-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 9 seconds to get Pierre back in the game. There's Tucker Large receiving the kick. Large cuts to the outside, and he will be pushed out of bounds at the 27-yard line. And Brady Dannenbrand and the Riders have 2:50 left to go in the first half with about, I'd say, 27-yard line, 73 yards to go for the touchdown. Could easily happen as Dannenbrand and the Riders offense has been very good tonight.
I mean, if I were Roosevelt, I'd keep up whatever you're doing. That's all I'd do. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. Switch it up every once in a while, throw a pass here and there. Give Brady enough time to get a good pass off, because that's when he's at his prime, is when he's got about 3 seconds to get that ball off. Give the ball to Jaden Bourne. Whatever they've been doing has been working, and they just need to keep that up.
And there's a handoff to Jaden Bourne. That's not going to go for much. That's going to be about a yard. That'll set up 2nd and 9 from their own 28-yard line with about 2.5 minutes approaching left in this first half.
And realistically, sorry, I'll let you finish there.
As Roosevelt doesn't really need to score a touchdown, but
That's exactly what I was going to say. As much as Roosevelt would like to score a touchdown, they don't need to at all. Just continue to run the ball here, pick up a couple first downs, go into halftime up 26-6.
The most optimal situation is if they could run this out as much as possible and score with a few seconds left and leave Pierre with little to no time to work with. But we know how that works. It doesn't usually work out like that.
And that doesn't work either when Dannenbrand tries to scramble.
Very true. It doesn't. He needs to stay there. So what I'm saying is they need to buy him time so he can get a good pass off, because when he has to scramble and throw the ball, I've noticed his passes are a lot less accurate than when he has a lot of time in the pocket to get a good, solid pass off.
And this is a great opportunity for Pierre to probably put some points up on the board if they can. It is 3rd and, oh boy, forever. And Pierre calls a timeout. They still have 1 left. If they can get a stop here on 3rd down, or I bet it's a pass.
Yeah.
Roosevelt should run the ball here if they want to force Pierre to call their last timeout. But if it's a pass and it's incomplete, that saves Pierre their timeout. And they are already at this part of the field. Say the kick goes to the 50. They have got great field position to get down the field in the last minute and 45 seconds to probably, or maybe, score a touchdown.
Yeah, and we gotta see if Roosevelt does what you say, and they run it, and Pierce uses their last time out, they're not out a whole lot because they got to receive it still. But it'd be optimal, like you said, if they throw the ball, throw an incomplete pass, start out on the 50, get down and maybe score. Even if a field goal is better than nothing, and then they receive it second half, that'd be the golden situation for them right now.
Yeah, you're right. They did defer at the beginning of the game, so they will get the ball to start the second half. And if they go down and score, make it a 13-26 game, that is 2 touchdowns. They are right back in it. Despite Roosevelt's 5 turnovers that they have.
And it's 3rd and a country mile from the 17-yard line. They're just going to run it. And there's a pass for Feldkamp, and it slipped out of his hand. That's caught by Coles. That might be an illegal man downfield, as he had Jacob Betancourt wide open down the field. That would have been a big gain and a whiff pass from Tyler Feldkamp. There's a flag there, and that's going to be illegal man downfield for Coles, number 67, the offensive lineman. That was That was a good play by the Riders. As good trick play, just Falcon did not execute that.
That is the play that beat O'Gorman last year. That is the play. Oh, hold on. We'll get the ruling here.
With illegal touching of a forward pass, offense number 67. Wash it down, 4th down.
Okay, that is the play that beat O'Gorman last year. That is the play that helped Roosevelt get back into the game in the state championship last year against Washington. That play with Nick Hoekstra in the backfield, firing it way deep downfield. I believe it was to, it wasn't.
Seth Balloon, maybe?
Was it Balloon? I think it was Balloon because Barnes was hurt last year.
Yeah, he was.
So it must have been Balloon.
Balloon or Hester, maybe.
Oh, it could have been. Yeah.
been
Anyways,
a lot of
that
people.
play was really good. Obviously,
That didn't turn out. It was set up really well.
It was
set up very well.
Oh yeah, they had Betancourt streaking down the field. He was wide open, but what does that do? It was a penalty as well. Minute 49 left. Pierre keeps their timeout, and it looks like Stout's out there at the 47. I don't think that. I mean, they're gonna get great field position.
Boy, they're going to get phenomenal field position.
And Devil McManus back to punt from your own end zone. You never want that. That's a high snap. McManus barely gets the punt off. That's going to not take a Roosevelt bounce. That's going to be down to 29-yard line. As Pierre only has to go 29 yards in a minute 48 with one timeout. And like you guys said, they can easily get back into this game, and they get the ball to start the second half. This is huge for Pierre to score a touchdown here.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is also huge for Roosevelt to score a touchdown. Or just stop them.
That McManus was.
He was inches from that line.
And that would have been a safety.
That would have been a safety. Yeah, he would have lost. They would have.
And they would have given the ball back to Pierre. So it's a game of inches. It really is.
That makes your heart skip a beat a little bit there, watching those.
And there's Stout alone in the backfield again with two receivers to his left. It's another quarterback run, which we saw a lot last drive. Another spin move. He likes that spin move.
The spin move.
And shake. Did you see the shake? The juke in and out. Oh, man. Stout has got some moves. Does he play basketball? Because, man, I put a basketball on his hand.
He's throwing them on him. He's throwing it on people now. I mean, look at that. For a 6'1", 185-pound dude, he can spin move like nobody's business over here.
And Stout will take another snap, another quarterback run.
Little shake.
And he's going to be stopped in the backfield by Doug Wells. Tried to do another spin move, but is brought down after a 1-yard loss as big for the Roosevelt defense. That'll set up 3rd and 6 from the Roosevelt 25-yard line. As now Pierre needs to think about passing, but it's going to get down to 1 minute remaining before they're going to call this next snap. They're going to have to take some shots downfield if they want to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I got to say, though, Stout is pulling out all the Madden 19 moves, all the jukes, all the spins. Did you see that stop and go? He is... he's just button mashing at this point, but now he's got to be serious here. Fires it over the middle, and that is a big first down with 45 seconds left.
And they'll call their timeout. They called their timeout. I know they did. They're gonna call their time. They did, but I mean that's super important because they have great field position. They're gonna use this as much as they can right now.
No, they're gonna hurry up to the line, and because the clock does stop until the official signal. So now Roosevelt really needs to climb down here on defense if they want to keep this game out of reach for now. There's a shot to the end zone. That's way over the head of 45 Gage Garrian, who's been a big part of this offense as well, making a few catches and had that nice touchdown catch in the left side of the end zone. As with 33 seconds left, it's 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line for Pierre. As even just points here would do a lot for them going into halftime, but a touchdown is really what they need.
And no, I did like taking that shot to the end zone. It's either a score or not, and it was in a place where nobody was going to catch it. It's basically a free timeout. They were able to figure out a play. Hopefully, they figured something out, and they'll be able to score or at least move the ball right to the goal line on this play.
Yeah, now 14. The running back Rasky is in motion. There's a shot to the end zone again. That's way over the head of Garrian again. That's the second time he's looked for him, second time in a row, as it'll set up 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. I don't know if Pierre will go for this on 4th down. I don't know if this is 4th down territory. Maybe they just do a little short pass to set it up with like 4th and 5 instead of 4th and 9, but we'll see what the Governors do here on 3rd and 9.
I definitely think you have to go for it, though. You can't take a field goal at this point because that would still make it. Oh, boy. Good. I'm glad you guys are good at math because I could not do that in my head.
Yeah, I mean, you're this close, too. Why would you worry about a field goal? Go for it.
He's going for the end zone. That's underthrown. It is intercepted by Tucker Large. The ball is brought out, and they called it incomplete. It looked like Tucker Large had possession of that ball, but he was ripped away by number 8, Zane Shugard. That was a great play by Shugard, as that just saved points right now, right there. And it'll be 4th and goal for Pierre from the 9-yard line. It looks like they're going to go for it. With 21 seconds remaining, and Roosevelt will probably just sit on it if they get a stop here. They won't try and score. As looks like he'll have Shugard to his right, Maher, Rasky, and Hinkle to his left. Pierre could use their final timeout.
They should. They should call a timeout here and talk it over.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they're going to do that, but they definitely should have called a timeout here. There they go. Exactly. We can talk during this break then, because let's go back to that play.
Mm-hmm.
You have Shugard that is 6'5",
yeah,
215 senior.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a running back in Nebraska. Like, that is a big dude. And who was up against him? Was it
Tucker
Felkin?
Large.
Was it Large?
Tucker Large.
Large played an amazing job.
Yeah,
with
David
that
and
ball.
Goliath type stuff there. That's crazy. He's a whole, like, what is that?
That's an 8-inch difference.
Yeah.
And Large
Tucker
had
Large
that
was
ball.
5'9".
Yeah, he
Large
had that.
ball in the end zone. What a fantastic job to even place himself in the position to get that ball. And then, I mean, you got to give credit to Zane Shugard, though, knocking
Ripping that
ball
out, ripped it
away,
out.
playing as much defense as he could
Yeah.
there to not give up the touchback and then giving Roosevelt the ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
at
then
least they have a chance here on 4th down
Yeah.
to get something going here. But if they were to kick a field goal, let's talk about that. If they were to kick a field goal, that'd make it a 26-9 game.
That'd be
Yeah.
a 17-point lead, and that's still a
Still 3
three-possession game.
possessions.
It's worth
Yeah.
going for this touchdown, because it stays 3 possessions if you don't get it. It's 2 possessions if you do
You
get
do,
it.
yep.
Yep.
But you got to come up with I would say there's got to be some sort of trickery here.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can't
they
just go
gotta-
straight man to man. It hasn't been working.
Pull an Eagles play like they did in the Super Bowl against Patriots, do something like that. They just got to throw them off somehow, because straight on stuff hasn't worked.
Even though
Even
I
with
believe-
how big of receivers they have.
I believe that was in a legal formation, though. I mean, I think they got away with something, and it's going to be 4th down with Maher, Rasky, and Hinkle to the right, or left, excuse me, Shugard to the, or left, and then Shugard to the right. They're thrown to the end zone to Maher, and that is caught for the Pierre touchdown. And that's big for the Governors, as they just got right back into this game. And now an extra point will make this a 13-point game going into the locker room instead of a 20-point game. That's
Well,
huge.
hold on. You know, they missed the PAT the last time with a block. I mean, that would be huge. Well, considering it'd still be a 14-point game rather than a 13-point game. But regardless of what happens, I don't know if that play was designed to be a touchdown, because you had 2 guys crossing.
Yeah.
And it looked like that Maher was going to maybe shuffle that ball over, as that one is up and good. If he was to shuffle that ball over and create some sort of distraction,
Yeah.
it would have been an easy touchdown that
Yeah.
way as well. But regardless, Maher did catch
Yeah,
the
still
ball
got
in the
touchdown.
touchdown. It's a 13-point game. The Riders lead 26-13 with 16 seconds left. We'll take a break.
Welcome back to Howard Field in this presentation of high school football. With 16 seconds left, it was 26-0, or 26-0 earlier, but Pierre's come storming back with 2 touchdowns to make it 26-13. Roosevelt will probably just sit on this, unless they can get a long kick return here by Tucker Large. He'll return it out to the 31, and I imagine Dannenbryn either takes a shot downfield or just takes a knee and takes this to a 13-point game going into halftime instead of turning the ball over and maybe Pierre scoring again, which would be a big disaster for Roosevelt going into halftime.
I would give it one chance, maybe. I mean, it is Pierre. It's not like O'Gorman. It's not Roosevelt, or excuse me, not Washington. It's not somebody that they would see in the state championship, which could lead to one or two things. If they want to pull out a trick play here, well, they're not going to. They're going to kneel it. But if they wanted to pull out a trick play here, maybe get some more points up on the board, or like they're doing now is just kneeling them and not show them anything. Maybe wait till the second half or to another opponent where they'd actually see them in the state championship.
I did see a college football game. It was a college or NFL game that I saw. They faked the knee. They handed it off to a running back. He ran to the left side. Oh, it was the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns to end the fourth quarter. They faked the knee. They handed it off to the guy hiding behind the offensive lineman. He took off to the left side. He got tackled, but he got 15 yards. He was worth the shot.
The fake knee, the fake throw. Oh, man. We could talk all day about that, but it is halftime, 26-13. The Governors are back in it. We'll take a break. Halftime from our wonderful Roosevelt Marching Band show. We will be back for the third quarter, and Pierre will receive.
Music Championship held at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Roosevelt Band program includes 4 concert bands, 3 jazz bands, 2 jazz combos, woodwind choir, brass choir, 4 percussion ensembles, winter drumline, winter color guard, pep band, and marching band. In recent years, the band has given symphonic band, jazz band, and woodwind choir performance at the South Dakota Band Masters Convention. The Roosevelt High School Marching Band 2018 production is entitled Sideshow. The show is a conglomeration of students' talents in the band. It is based off old sideshow attractions that you might find at a circus or a carnival. The show will dazzle with amazing visual feats not often seen on a marching field. Drum majors, Morgan Simers, Jake Newcomb, and Catherine Moe. Is your band ready? Roosevelt Marching Band, you may take the field in performance.
I bet you came here to see the big accident shot. Well, I'm here to tell you to forget about those glory hogs and their big rings and their big spotlights. If you want real action, if you want real excitement, if you want real drama, you need to check out the Sideshow. I know what you're thinking. A side ghost collecting freaks and oddities. But if you look closely, you'll see his pure art. That beauty. Oh, so beautiful. 5, time to have some fun. sideshow.
Rough Rider fans, your Sioux Falls Roosevelt marching Rough Riders. In their 2 competitions this season, the Rider Band has earned first place in the Navy class at the Pursuit of Excellence in Marshall, Minnesota, and the overall grand champion at Starfest held in Sioux City, Iowa. Tomorrow, the Rider Band will compete at the Youth in Music Championship held at the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The band will finish their season on October 21st with a performance at the Bands of America Indianapolis Super Regional held at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Band directors Michael Hinch and Spencer Cruz. Pierre fans, welcome your governors back to the stadium. Rider fans, here are your Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders. Back deep for Pierre will be number 14, McGuire Rasky, and number 7, Garrett Stout.
Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. My name is Brent Bond, and I am joined by Brent Bartels and Eli Cadoon. Tonight's broadcast is being produced by Matt May. Our camera operators are Mark Johnson and Madeline Hanson. You can also watch this game anytime on the Howard Wood Field YouTube channel. Our referee tonight is Tom Peniston, and at the end of the first half, it is 26-13 as Roosevelt had an early 26-0 lead. Early in the second quarter, but Pierre answered back with a couple of touchdowns to make it a two-score game. The Governors will start back with the ball, and this could be a big drive for Pierre to get them within 6 points of this game, which would be one touchdown. As Roosevelt, it's key that the Rough Riders get a stop here if they want to keep this game at a good margin amount of points. As Bennett Yellowberg kicks off, is going to be received again by Matt Lusk. Or excuse me, that was number 14, Rasky, actually, who returned to that, and he'll return to the 29-yard line. And that's where the Governors will start this drive off as Pierre, slow start, 5 turnovers in the first half, but answer back with 2 nice touchdowns.
You know, we've had a great night for football as well here tonight. It's only 39 degrees. It's a little bit chilly. It's only October. But we've had a great night for football. It actually snowed today.
Yeah, we got our first snow.
It snowed today, but...
Sadly. Very sadly.
Back on the football field, yeah, Pierre, they've been playing pretty good the last couple of drives. They haven't turned the ball over. They scored right before halftime. This is a 2-possession game at this point, regardless of, them committing 5 turnovers on the first 6 or 7 possessions. So if Pierre, they just received the ball, if they can move down the field a little bit more, maybe wear out this defense, they are back in this game.
Very true, because like we saw at the end of the second half there, they wore out Roosevelt's defense. They started to pick up their pace a little bit more and start scoring more frequently.
And it really didn't look like anybody could stop Stout at all running the ball. Looks like they're changing up the offense here. But Stout, he's going to be a key player in this second half. Try to mix up the runs and maybe take these one-on-one advantages. Look on that far side with Feldkamp.
As Stout is in the shotgun with 2 to his left and 2 to his right, 1 to his left. There's a screen to number 14, Rasky, and that's not going anywhere. That's going to go about a yard, not even. That's going to be no gain again, and it'll set up 3rd and 10. And this is the kind of stuff that Roosevelt needed as they've gone on to the quarterback run, as maybe they made some adjustments, and then they stopped that screenplay, which Pierre threw a lot of short passes in the last half quarter.
No, that's very true. They started to pick up on that. Was probably Roosevelt's weakest link right there, was those short little quick passes that they were running. And they picked up on that very quickly, and they just kind of used that to their advantage along with Stout's running.
As Stout looks down the field, and that ball is broken up by Tucker Large. No flags on the play, and that's a big 3-and-out for the Rough Riders to force Pierre to punt, and now they'll have the ball back with probably all right field position as Tyler Feldkamp, who's had a couple good punt returns, maybe see if he can break one here and make this a 20-point game again.
Yeah, that was a big 3-and-out for the Riders there. Pierre really needed to get something going with the ball. They had all the momentum from the first half, and then now the 3-and-out kind of halts that.
Gray Zabel is back to punt for the 3rd time tonight with Feldkamp back there to receive. There's 2 men on the far side of the field and the close side of the field, too. He fumbles the snap, almost blocked by Caleb Dwyer and Kusler. That ball will take Roosevelt bounce, and it'll roll back to the 40. Still rolling, but they'll mark it down at the 40-yard line, and Roosevelt will start at the Pier 40 as this is good field position for the Riders for the first drive of the second half.
Zabel was just lucky to get that ball away. Fumbled the snap. It was a really low snap as well. Just able to get it off, though it does roll all the way to the 40. Great starting field position for the Riders. Dannenberg's going to come back out, and if they can score, that could be a huge momentum boost for the Riders.
Yeah, very true, because this is probably some of the best field position they've had to start out with all game. Most of the time has been low, and there's a flag. It's about to call a fumble, but
might be a false start on the Riders, or maybe I don't see anyone jump.
False start offense, number 65, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That was 65 Nick Pruitt on the false start there. That'll send Roosevelt back 5 yards for 1st and 15 from the Pierre 45, and they've converted a 3rd and 19. They've converted a couple 3rd and longs in this game. This isn't too difficult for them, being that their offense was really hot, and then it kind of slowed down in the second quarter a little bit. There's a handoff. That's Tyree Nave, who's the freshman's gotten a lot of action tonight, as he's going to get about 7 yards down to the 38-yard line, so he got all the yardage back, and it'll be 2nd and 8 from the Pier 38, as they just need to keep going. Keep running the ball, doing what they've been doing.
I just looked. Tyree Nave is a massive freshman, 6'1", 180 pounds. I really exaggerate a little bit, but I mean, you can only exaggerate so much. He's huge as a freshman. I mean, I'm tiny compared to that. I'm a junior. I mean,
Dannenbrain throws it over to Devil McManus, who keeps fighting, and he gets down to about the 33, 32-yard line, so they'll set up about 3rd and 2 or 3. They'll give him 5 yards there. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the Pier 33, and a lot of threes there. And it looks like that Roosevelt will probably go for it on 4th down if they get there, but they're probably just going to hope to. And looks like Pierre just jumped off sides there, as the center, number 68, 68 Mason Amano just got pushed over, and that should be an offsides for the Governors to give Roosevelt an automatic 1st down.
It's going to be offsides or false start on everybody but the center.
Encroachment, defense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, resulting 1st down.
That ball was not snapped, so yeah, no false start. Excuse me, the offsides. Yeah, encroachment. I never really understood the difference between those two.
There is no real difference. It's just a fancy name for offside.
1st and 10 for the Riders. Dannenbrain the pistol tosses it to Feldkamp out of the backfield. Feldkamp will get about back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. They'll mark him down at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 2nd and 10 at the Pier 27-yard line. As Feldkamp's been a big part of this offense, as he's gotten a few carries, he's caught a lot of passes. He caught that long pass on 3rd and 19 where there was blown coverage, and he was just wide open. And he got all the way down to the 4, and the next play, Kusler went in for the touchdown, as it's 2nd and 10 for the Riders from the Pier 27-yard line. Dannenbrain in the pistol again, with 2 on each side, with Tyler Feldkamp again behind him in the backfield. Dannenbrain will take the snap. Dannenbrain option to Feldkamp, and Feldkamp will lose a yard, as Pierre was all over that, and this is the momentum booster that Pierre needed, as they really need a defensive stop to stay in this game.
And that's the play that hurt the Riders so many times last year, just the option. It's a different game than it is in college or in the NFL even, but it's just not working for the Riders. They simply have to try something else. They've been really utilizing the sweeps and the nice little screen passes. I think they got to go to that instead. Yeah, because as you can see, Gage Gehring picked up on that option, no problem. Like they're doing it here again.
There's another option to Feldkamp, and Pierre's all over that again. 3rd and 11, they just stuffed it.
I'd scrap that play.
I don't like that call at all. Absolutely not.
I wouldn't even use that play anymore, because as you can see, they picked up on it. Gage Gehring just sat there on the near one. He just sat there and waited for him to pitch it, and then he just tackled Feldkamp.
And it's not just Pierre either. It's every single team that picks it up. And I think the main problem with it, it's not Carter Lohr. It's Dannenbrain, who's more, like we keep saying, a pocket passer.
Yeah.
He can't escape to that outside edge. And
he's not fast enough to do it.
If people on the defense can get to that outside edge, where's he going to go? Nowhere.
Yeah. So they need to either scrap that play or they need to find someone else, as they have a high snap to Devlin McManus. But
that ball will be fair caught by Stout at about the 9-yard line, and Pierre will have to go 91 yards for a touchdown, as Roosevelt pins him back deep. And the Governors will start at their own 10 with Stout, who's and the Governors' offense, who's turned the ball over 5 times, all in the first quarter and a half, as their offense struggled early on. They've picked up, though, as of late, and they're looking to, after this first rain out, they're looking to get back on track. And it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 10. Stout is in the shotgun with a lot of offensive linemen, 2 to his left, 2 receivers to his left, Trips actually to the left. That is Excuse me. Shoot, that's Garing in motion. And that's going to be a carry for Stout for about a gain of 6. And Stout has showed that he's ran the ball as he's already carried the ball 11 times. That's actually 12 now for 44 yards, as Stout has proven that he's a running quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Stout has run pretty much all over this Rider defense. And simply, what do they need to do? Do they start blitzing or do they sit back in zone? Because we saw when they sit back in zone, Stout picks it apart, especially with the pass. He can go underneath then.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no real way around him. Stout's pretty stout at running the ball.
I see what you did there.
That's a good one. That's punny. But,
oh boy.
yeah, Stout is just picking them apart with his run game, as we can see here. He's just either run it to the outside when they blitz, or does his little spin move in the zone and gone.
Put him on the spin cycle again. Why not?
I know.
That's at least 5.
I know.
He's only been stopped on it once.
I
And
know.
that was when there was 3 defensive linemen right
I know.
there.
He just picks it apart. I mean, he's such a good job at reading what's coming and where he should go.
So
he thinks of it like a running back still.
So do these like little 3, 4, 5 yards, are they going to be able to move them down the field? And if so, how much time is that going to take?
Yeah, they're going to take it. They're going to be able to move down the field, but it's not going to be super efficient because eventually Stout isn't going to be able to run it anymore. You're going to get tired or something's going to happen, and then it's super time consuming also. It's taking up time and they don't have a whole lot of time to work with here. We're halfway through the second half already, so I mean you can't spend too much time like doing all these separate little plays. So
And that was a great tackle in the backfield there by Nathan Moon to stop McGuire Rasky, as that was a 3-yard loss, and then it was second and 13 for the Governors from their own 19, as Pierre has passed the ball a lot in this game, as McGuire Rasky has not gotten a lot of carries in the backfield. In fact, he's probably only had about 3-4 carries in the backfield. Hasn't had much. Pierre's either ran the ball as Stout or they've thrown the ball, as Stout's now in the pistol with one wide receiver to his right, one to his left.
And look at Shugard over here. I think what they should do is just throw it up to him. They go with a run play and another spin move. If that's not his signature move, I don't know what is. But if you look at Stugard here on the outside, one-on-one versus Feldkamp,
yeah,
he is way close to the sideline.
Yeah.
And Feldkamp, I mean, he's obviously got the size advantage. Why not take a shot? Look at me on the far side there, going up against Tucker Large. Take a shot at him. Let Stugard run by him and throw it up.
Throw it up. He has a huge height advantage. Like we said earlier, he has like an 8-inch height advantage on Tucker Large, and 8 inches is a huge advantage when you're cornerback, when you're wide receiver over a cornerback. So I mean, it's just like that. Just do that every single time. Because I mean, Tucker Large can't do anything there. You're trying to move around a 215-pound guy. It's probably not going to work very well unless you're bigger, or just as big as him. So I mean, that's the thing they need to keep doing right there, is using their size to their advantage, because they have massive receivers.
And that was a big third down conversion for the Governors. And there's a flag on the play, and the offense and the defense are both moving back, so it looks like could have been something on the Governors, it looks like.
Downfield offense, number 54, 5-yard penalty. Play third down.
Ouch, you cannot be doing that, especially after completing a big third and, well, long. I mean, that's just simple misexecution, miscommunication. But I would not be surprised. What is this now? Third and 15.
Yeah.
I say go right back to it. You might not be able to work with the slant this time, but I say go right back to it with the streak. Get Shugard one-on-one.
Yeah, because I mean, they have humongous receivers. Like their smallest receiver is like 5'10". I mean, and their biggest ones are like 6'5" and 6'3". I mean, why not? Why not go to your two big guys that are 200-pound receivers and throw it up to them every once in a while?
Yeah, and now it's 3rd and 12, as they corrected it to a 5-yard penalty instead of a 10-yard penalty. As that's a killer penalty for the Governors, as they had a first down and were driving, and now Stout's in the pistol, and he's going to run. He's got pressure. He throws it downfield, and it is intercepted by Devlin McManus, his 3rd turnover, 2 interceptions and 1 fumble, and that's the 6th turnover for the Pierre Governors, and you can't be turning the ball over 6 times in a game, and Roosevelt will start at the Pierre 46-yard line. What a big turnover for Brady Dan and Brandon, this Rough Rider offense, to get the ball back with good field position.
It looked like Gehring just stopped running and simply kind of just gave up on the play. It looked like he thought Stout was going to continue running to the left and then just stopped running his route down the field. And then McManus right there to get the interception and complete the play. But look at the scoreboard. It's only a 2-possession game. A couple stops here. Pierre's not out of it.
Yeah.
Now Dan runs in the pistol with, I believe that's Jaden Bourne behind him. Might be Tyree Nave. 2 receivers to his left and right. That's Jaden Bourne back there. They option it to Jaden Bourne. Jaden Bourne gets the edge, but he cannot stay out of bounds. But he'll get about 2 yards on that. There weren't really many defenders after he got that last one. He just couldn't stay in bounds on the edge, and he could have easily gotten a first down if he would have been able to stay in bounds.
Yeah, like that's one of the few times that I've seen the option work lately, because so many people already know that they're going to run the option. That's the play they run most of the time. I can guarantee that's one of the most frequently used plays, so it's basically an old, drawn-out play at this point, and that people already understand that's coming. So, I mean, I don't know why they keep using it so often.
It should have been a loss for 4 yards, and just 2 missed tackles
Yeah.
was able to get 2 positive yards out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now they hand off to Jaden Bourne up the middle. Jaden Bourne goes down to about the 34-yard line. That's going to be enough for a Roosevelt first down.
That's what they need to keep doing. Just run it right up the gut, smash everyone.
Yeah, and that's what Jaden Bourne had success for in his first 2 games against Rapid City Stevens when he came in for Mackie Muhammad, who got hurt. And then against Washington, where he just plowed through their whole defense. That's another handoff to Jaden Bourne. Ball security was an issue for him against O'Gorman. He had 3 fumbles in that game, but he's been pretty solid in this game, and that's an 8-yard carry down to the 26.
Yeah, I'm thinking after the O'Gorman game, they worked on holding the ball a little bit, because that was not a great game for running. But yeah, I mean, this is the best run stuff that I've seen since probably one of their first or second games even. Probably their second game was when Jaden Bourne ran his absolute best, and this is living up there with about probably one of their best games they've played with run defense. As we see Dannenberg, what is going on with Dannenberg?
Wow.
What did we just watch?
Wow, Brady Dannenberg has the Pierre defense bit on that fake toss to Jaden Bourne, and Brady Dannenberg just got the edge, and that's the best touchdown run I've seen from Brady Dannenberg this whole season.
Ever.
Great explosiveness, and that's a big touchdown for the Riders. Now they can make it a 20-point game and make it 3 touchdowns again.
Yeah, on that replay, the entire Pierre defense bit on I don't even know if it was a pump fake. They just didn't even try to tackle Dannenberg. They waited for the option, and Dannenberg didn't pitch it. So, he just walked to the outside and walked into the end zone. It kind of happened in, like, slow motion almost. Pierre just...
And Bennett Yellowbird's kick is right through, and it's 33-13. With 3:12 back, it's the Rough Riders 33, the Governors 13. We'll be right back from high school football on KLRN. Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. With 3:12 left in the third quarter, it is the Roosevelt Rough Riders 33 and the Pierre Governors 13. Bennett Yellowbird will kick off to Pierre with Rasky and Stout. Out to receive the kick at the 9-yard line. Bennett Yellowbird, who's seen him squib kick a lot today, as he'll do another short kick that's farther and it'll be fielded by Rasky. Rasky tries to get the edge, and he breaks the tackle and gets past another one. Rasky will get all the way down to about midfield before he's tripped up by a couple of riders. A big kick return that's returned out to midfield, and Pierre just has to go half the field to try and answer back Roosevelt's touchdown drive.
Yeah, I mean, Dannenberg took up some of Stout's tactics there and just, kind of ran his way into the end zone. But, I mean, It'll be kind of interesting to see what they're going to do now that they know that they're down by 3 possessions, if they're going to maybe stop running it with Stout so much and start passing it more, or what they're planning on doing there.
Yeah, we've seen Stout run the ball a lot. The passing game hasn't been the best today for Pierre. Just 11 for 27 for 80 yards. He has Stout has 2 touchdown passes, but also 3 interceptions and a fumble. As Stout goes back, he's pressured big time, and he throws an incomplete pass that's just out of the reach of number 12, Jack Maher. As it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Governors from the Roosevelt 49-yard line, as Pierre really just needs to score here, as they've got to answer Roosevelt's touchdown drive. And it looks like we have an injured player down on the sideline. That's the last thing. That might be Tyler Feldkamp down there. No, it's not. Well, we'll take a timeout for an injury. We'll be right back. To Howard Field in this presentation of high school football. My name is Brent Bowen, and I am joined by Eli Cadoon and Brent Bartels. Tonight's broadcast is being produced by Matt May. Our camera operators are Mark Johnson and Madeline Hansen. You can also watch this game anytime on the Howard Field YouTube channel. With 2:55 left, the Riders lead 33-13 over the Pierre Governors, as the injured player on that play was Doug Wells, as he seems to walk off the field on his own power, just maybe got shaken up a little bit, and we'll probably come back in a couple plays as Stout is back in the pistol. He's looking for Rasky in the flat, and he's going to try and run with it, and Rasky does the spin move again and will gain about 6 yards down to the 43-yard line. That'll set up about a 3rd and 4.
I mean, Stout's still running the ball, which is kind of surprising. Even though he's having a lot of success with it, it's really surprising because of the fact that they need to get going, and they are down by 3 possessions, and they need to get moving more than running it. They need to start throwing it.
Yeah, they're really pressed on time here. They've got to get going, as Stout is now in the shotgun. Nobody in the backfield with 2 receivers to his left and his fullback, Garing, in the tight end slot. And there's a flag on the play that looks like it's going to be a false start, as I didn't see any rider jump off sides over here at the ball.
Good ball. False start. Offense. Number 8. 1-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And that takes a 3rd and 4. It's about a 3rd and 9. And that is not what you want to see when you're already down by 20 points.
Absolutely not.
No, it'll be 3rd and 9 from the 48-yard line. This is 4-down territory. I mean, you're in Roosevelt territory. They'd start with good field position, but you got to try and score a touchdown here, as Stout has 2 receivers to his right and 2 to his left. He's in the shotgun with nobody by him. Roosevelt's going to send pressure. There's Dwyer almost getting to him, and he's got Maher wide open, and he's going to run into the end zone for an easy Pierre touchdown. 48 yards from Stout to Maher, and the Governors are right back into this game. It's a 2-touchdown game with 1:46 remaining in the 3rd quarter. That's just blown coverage by the Riders, as they just sent maybe a little too much pressure there, as they left the man wide open.
And I mean, you said everything that you needed to say right there. Blown coverage, Mayer wide open, and forget what I said about 3rd and 9 being tough when you're down 20. Make it look easy by streaking over the middle, and that's the first time we've really seen anybody streak over the middle.
Yeah.
And when Roosevelt's pressuring 8-9 guys, I mean, you're gonna have an open man down the field.
You're gonna have a huge opening in the middle because you got that many guys. You're gonna miss coverages in the middle. You're gonna have 2 guys on the outside, but I mean, you're gonna miss a bunch of space in the middle. So I mean, smart playing there by Pierre on that one.
And that kick was almost blocked by Feldkamp, as he got to run the edge fast, as he almost had a huge block. But it'll be 33-20 with 1:46 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back for this high school football presentation on KLRN. Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. With 1:46 remaining in the third quarter, the Riders lead 33-20 after a Pierre touchdown. Now Pierre will kick off to the Riders as Feldkamp and Large are back to receive the kick. That was a big touchdown for the Governors, being down 3 touchdowns, and now we're down 2, and now the Riders will probably try and respond again to make this a 3-touchdown game. As number 11, Karsten Miller will kick off, as maybe we could see some surprise kick, never know, but only down 13. Momentum's not too bad for you. It's been even through this third quarter. As he kicks it away, it will be fielded by Feldkamp, and he's going to try and spin to the left side. Feldkamp, though, is brought down by a couple Governors at his own 29-yard line, and that's where Dan Brain and the Riders will start.
I'm telling you, anyone hits that spin move, you're getting yards. He hit his nice spin move. I'm obsessed with that spin move, but good recovery there. I mean, it looked like there was a little bit of confusion there, depending on who was going to catch that or who was going to field that, but good job by Feldkamp of getting some yards out of something that they might not have gotten any yards out of.
And that was a three-play drive for the Governors for 49 yards that ended on a 48-yard pass to Maher from Stout, and that run isn't going anywhere, as that's going to lose a yard for the Riders, and momentum's on the Governor's side. It's a chilly night, not many fans here. Stands are pretty empty. But it's 2nd and 11 from the 28. Roosevelt's got to get something going, because then if Pierre gets the ball back, scores a touchdown, Roosevelt's probably going to be pressured here, being a one-score game.
Back to that last play. The Pierre defense did not bite on the fake sweep at all. They were all over the running back, and now there's a quick flag. It looks like Pierre jumped.
Penalty flag in the play.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That was an encroachment on the Governors, and that's a big penalty because it was 2nd and 11 and 2nd and long. Now it's 2nd and 6, as it's a big break for the Roosevelt defense, as Dan Brain is in the shotgun with 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left, with Jaden Bourne in the backfield. Dan Brain takes the snap, hands it off to Bourne. Bourne's got a little bit of a hole. Bourne's got a 1st down and more all the way down to the 46-yard line. There's a flag at the end of the play.
Lee Snyder laid him out. Oh, man.
Could be a personal foul of some sorts. We'll see what the flag is, though.
Yeah, he got laid out.
Personal foul, contact above shoulder, number 26, defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That was number 26, Lee Snyder, on the unnecessary roughness call. That's a big penalty to put Roosevelt into Pierre territory at the 38-yard line. That's a big break for the Riders that they need to take advantage on, as Daniel Brain's in the shotgun with 2 to his right and left. It's 1st and 10 from the Pierre 38. Dan Brain will take the snap. He'll hand it off to Bourne again, who's been a busy man in this third quarter. He'll bring it down to the 33, and that'll be a 5-yard gain. And the run game has worked for Jaden Bourne and this Roosevelt Riders offense in the second half.
I think they just need to keep running the ball. You're up 2 touchdowns, and if you continue to run the ball, the clock's going to continue to run. And if you can get downfield, it's just a positive.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that last play and all the plays before that, they've had a lot of penalties. You know, their penalty that Pierre cannot be giving up this many penalties. Stuff like that. Oh, here's another penalty. Hang on.
Dead ball, false start, offense, number 26, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's a false start penalty on the Riders, as that 5-yard gain just went away, as 2nd and 10 from the 38 now, as Jaden Bourne is in the backfield with 2 receivers to the right and the left. Roosevelt needs to respond now to get this field position back. The clock is running. Roosevelt could wind this down to the third quarter, or they could run one more play. Looks like they're going to try and run another play. Feldkamp's in motion. They give it to Feldkamp on a sweep to the outside. Feldkamp won't get much. He'll get about a yard there, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, the Rough Riders have a 33-20 lead over the Pierre Governors. We'll be back in a moment. You are watching Sioux Falls Roosevelt and Pierre on KLRN. Welcome back to Howard Field in this presentation of high school football. My name is Brent Bowen, and I'm joined by Brent Bartels and Eli Cadoon. Tonight's broadcast is being produced by Matt May. Our camera operators are Mark Johnson and Madeline Hansen. You can watch us anytime on the Howard Field YouTube channel. The Roosevelt Rough Riders have 3rd and 10 at the Pier 38. They're going to hand off to Jaden Bourne. Jaden Bourne will get about 5 yards up to the 33. And that'll set up a 4th and 5 that the Riders are definitely going to go for this and try and extend this drive a little bit and kill some clock.
It was really surprised to me when they decided to run a play with 7 seconds left in that last quarter, when it could have been 3rd down and 7. Instead, there's a fumbled snap. Danneberg has to get on it, and that's going to be a turnover of downs. That's huge.
Yeah, that is big because he lost 5 or 6 yards or so on that. So they get 6 yards they didn't have before if they would have lost it.
And then looking back to that last play on that sweep to Feldkamp when they didn't even have to run it, it would have been 2nd down and 7 instead of 3rd down and 8. And then, the bad snap there on 4th down, turnover. It's a 2-possession game, 11:30 left on the clock. This is almost Roosevelt's game to lose.
Yeah. And they kind of set it up like that. I mean, they haven't played as smart, I would say, like ball handling wise as Pierre has. They've been very smart and strategic about how they've used each play, and it hasn't been kind of random like Roosevelt has. Like you said, they didn't have to run that last play. That was unnecessary. It didn't really help them. It didn't really hurt them. They didn't lose many yards, but I mean, it didn't help them. So they could have just waited, got fourth quarter, and they could have just sat there and basically got a free timeout. As we now see, Pierre's guy breaks out. Now they're down to their own 27. Stout making his way down the field again.
You know what Stout did there?
Spin move.
Yeah, another spin move.
They
gained him about 25 more yards, and now they are really pushing into the Riders' territory up at the 29-yard line, wasting no time to get down the field and try to limit this game to a one possession.
Very true.
Yeah, and give credit to the Governors for fighting back in this game. It was 26-0, and since then they have outscored the Riders 20-7, as now they could score again and make this a one-possession game. As Stout takes the snap, throws it to number 45. That's Garion again, and Garion's going to have about 8 yards. And that's going to be 2nd and 2, with the Governors having momentum on their sideline, as Roosevelt's going to have to grind this out. They're going to have to make a big stop on defense here to keep this a 2-score game, so then they don't have to be on the field knowing it's a 1-score game and every play counts.
This must be a form of deja vu for Roosevelt with the Rapid City Cobbler game, just how they lost that one. They gave up 19 points in the second half, and this must be kind of like a little bit freaky for them because this is kind of a repeat of what happened against Rapid City.
and there's a run. He will gain about 4 yards. That's Stout again on the carry as he's been busy. He's just ran the ball a lot. That's his 17th carry as that hit him almost to 100 yards rushing in this game. He has 136 yards passing and 96 yards rushing, as that's going to be a pure first down as they have 1st and 10 from the Roosevelt 12-yard line. And now Pierre is just about, they're close to scoring. Not the, well, it says the 7-yard line on the scoreboard, but it's the 17-yard line. And Stout's alone in the backfield. He takes the snap. He looks left. He's getting pressured. He's downed at the 20-yard line. Big sack there. I believe that was Isaac Oren in there. Or that was 62 Caleb Dwyer, or one of the two. But that's a big sack for the Riders, and they'll set it up at 2nd and 13 from the 20-yard line.
I know it's only 2nd down, but a field goal isn't necessarily bad here.
No.
It would cut the lead to 10. They would obviously still be down 2 possessions, but it would be a field goal and a touchdown. Regardless, this is not a bad position to be in. They just cannot turn the ball over.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in this position, you need to emphasize this because that's great coverage there by, I think, Doug Wells. But, I mean, like you said, they have to emphasize here because this might be one of your few times down here, and you got to make the most of it because you don't know what you're going to get.
That was a great throw by Stout as well, just out of the hands of Mayer.
And this is set up 3rd and 14.
Yeah, as you said, 3rd and 14. We saw them score on 3rd and 9 at the other end.
No
so
problem.
I wouldn't be surprised if they take another shot towards the end zone.
And it's 3rd and 14 for the Governors. Stout takes the snap. He'll dump it off to Maher, and he's going to be wrapped up by a few Riders with Kusler leading the way and Nathan Moon coming in to clean up as well as Ethan Winter. And it'll be 4th down and about 12, and this will be a 4th down and 11, and it looks like Pierre's going to go for it to make this a one possession game instead of still a 2-possession game.
There's no way around it. That was an awful play. That was nowhere near the 1st down, and Stout, all he has done is given up another down and more time off the clock. That was just a not good play that Stout and the rest of Pierre could have done something a lot more.
Stout takes a snap, looked like early movement on the right side. No call, and
Oh
it is
my gosh.
caught for the
Oh
Pierre
my.
touchdown. That
Oh my
same
goodness.
shoe guard as Pierre got away with a false start on the far end as I believe, I couldn't tell who that was. That might have been, I don't know, but there was a false start on the right side that Pierre got away with it, and that resulted in a touchdown, and now it's a 1-possession game as Pierre's right back in this game, and this is a big extra point to make it a 6-point game instead of a 7-point game from number 11, Karsten Miller. Miller's extra point is good, and it's a 6-point game. With 8:56 left in the 4th quarter, the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders lead the Pierre Governors 33-27. We'll be back in a moment. You are watching Sioux Falls Roosevelt and Pierre on KLRN. Welcome back to Howard Wood Field in this presentation of high school football. With 8:56 remaining, the Rough Riders have a 33-27 lead as Pierre just keeps chipping away as they made it a 6-point game. As that ball is going to roll not out of bounds, and Tucker Large is going to have to pick that up and run, and Roosevelt's going to have bad field position. And Tucker Large actually breaks a tackle, makes a spin move. Tucker Large stays on his feet and turns a good return it in nothing to about the 32-yard line.
I'm telling you guys, it's the spin move.
It's the spin move.
It's the spin move.
He was back at the 2-yard line waiting for that ball to go out of bounds. You saw the replay right here, and here comes the spin move. And he is actually down.
Down hurt.
And it looks like, as you can see in the replay, right at the end, his leg got twisted on the roll-up.
Let's go back to the last possession there for the score from the Governors. There, it was an 18-yard pass from Stout to Schuchard. It was 7 plays, 2 minutes 34 seconds, and it was a 59-yard drive. So good stuff there from them. But we'll be back when Tucker Large is up and moving.
Welcome back to Howard Field in this presentation of high school football. 8:48 remaining. The Riders have a 6-point lead, and they've got the ball at their own 32, and this is a huge, crucial drive for Roosevelt. Even just a field goal will make this a 2-score game and will give them a lot more comfort than if they get stopped with nothing and then have to go back on defense, being only up 1 possession.
Yeah, good point there, because that small little difference, that just little bit of comfort that you can get from just that 3 points is massive, because then you can kind of relax a little bit more, you're a little bit looser, you're not as tense, so it's important. It's important to get that, at least a score out of this.
And there's a handoff to Jaden Bourne that only goes for about 1 yard. That'll set up 2nd and 9 for the Riders from their own 33-yard line. Well, that was Tyree Nave on the carry, not Jaden Bourne. So it's 2nd and long from the 33-yard line.
And that play it's going to waste some time off the clock, but run 2 more of those, and you're at 4th down with 6 minutes left, and you're giving Pierre back the ball in pretty good position. So you have to make a couple first downs here. You have to throw the ball.
You have to at least probably get it into Pierre's territory. At least 20 yards in their territory.
You want to at least make them run the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Dannebreen will chuck it up, and it is caught. That's number 30. Mike Paulson, that went up and made the catch on just a thrown-up ball that was, or did they call that incomplete? That fell incomplete. It looked like it was caught. That was intended for Michael Paulson. It was a hard view, but it looked like Michael Paulson did come up with it, but apparently he did not.
That would have been a very big play for Roosevelt if he got that.
You know what the worst thing about that play was?
Stops the clock.
Stops the clock, exactly. So they're going to have to run another play just to get the clock to start running again.
Yeah, I mean,
3rd and
they
9.
can't.
Dannebreen takes a snap. Dannebreen throws it downfield just over Caden Jordan's head. He was wide open.
I don't like that play at all. Not in this situation. It's 3rd and 10, and you're trying to take a shot downfield. The spacing was good.
Yes.
That was good, but I don't like that shot. It's too much of a risk for the reward that you're getting.
It's too hard of a catch.
It's too hard of a catch over the shoulder. It would have been a touchdown if he caught it,
probably very well
or a possible touchdown.
Very well could have.
But the risk of throwing it over the shoulder,
it was not very likely to be completed, is basically.
And now you're giving Pierre back the ball with 7:50 left, half a quarter, and it looks like going to be their 35.
Oh, yeah. He's going to fair catch that.
Close to a fumble there by Stout, but he fair catches it at the 39-yard line. Now this is big pressure for the Roosevelt defense. They absolutely need a stop, because if Pierre scores a touchdown and makes the PAT, Pierre's got a 1-point lead, and all of a sudden Roosevelt had a 26-point lead in the 2nd quarter, and their offense has just been stopped, hasn't been able to do much.
Well, defense wins championships, so if you commit 6 turnovers and you don't win the game, I mean, that's just saying that their offense is picking you apart. So 6 turnovers in the first half, and they've let Pierre back into this game. They're going to have to take it to the next level right now. And they need a stop.
They're going to need to step it up in their minds, because at this point, it's a mental game at this point. Because Pierre has a huge morale right now, but if Roosevelt can get it through their mind that that doesn't matter, they can stop them, then that'll be a big help to them. But the fact that they're getting beat, it's kind of showing through. It's kind of wearing them down.
So that was Kusler slow to get up on the play, I believe. As he now goes back down.
And that's really interesting. He was able to walk fine, and he just sits down on the field. This could be more of a timeout for the team, rather let's regroup kind of thing. I mean, obviously, let's get attention to Kusler and make sure he's okay. But kind of odd for him to just sit down on the field like that. But it definitely stopped the game and maybe gave Roosevelt a little bit of a break here. I
will say that happened to Joey Hughes against the O'Gorman game. He, when he got hurt, he went up for a ball, stood up, kicked the ball, and then all of a sudden just dropped. So we're still not really sure what happened to him. I'm thinking it's an ankle injury because I've seen him on crutches at school, but still was very interesting because he watched him stand up and kick the ball, and then all of a sudden he was just down. So it was like kind of interesting.
As Stout is back in the shotgun, Stout's going to run it again, and he's got a big hole up the middle. That's going to be another first down as Roosevelt just has not been able to stop the quarterback run. That's over 110 rushing yards for Stout and 20 carries. He has more carries than completions in this game, even though he has 4 touchdown passes. As their defense needs to stop here. They need to grind it out, get off the field, have their offense get a long drive, and Stout's going to carry it again. He still gets a pretty good amount of yards. It's about three yards there, and they'll set up a 2nd and 7 from the 35-yard line.
I don't think they're going to throw another ball this game.
No.
I do not think Pierre will throw another ball this game. Why not?
Because they're marching down the field, no problem.
Absolutely.
They have 6 minutes, 50 seconds left. They're down by 6 points.
Time is not a concern for them at all.
They're on their 35-yard line. They're on Roosevelt's 35. They don't have to worry about time right now.
I can guarantee this is another draw play right here to the right side.
Yep. That's another carry by Stout. That'll get him about 5 yards, and it'll set up a 3rd and 2 and a must stop for the Rough Riders. They might give them only 4. It'll be 3rd and 2.5, and they'll probably just run another draw.
Roosevelt cannot stop it.
No,
they cannot stop it. And we saw in the first quarter, they were trying to hand the ball off, trying to go with the passes. Something happened. Stout was just like, give me the ball. And they did. And it's been all Pierre this second half. I mean, it was 26-0 in the first half, and now it's 33-27.
I know,
Roosevelt student section getting pretty loud for the very few amount of people that's there. Another handoff, got away with the hold, but Stout's got the first down.
I will say Stout has stepped up big time in this game. He took the team from fumbling 6 times in the first half, giving it up 6 times, throwing interceptions himself, to being like, hey, we need to step it up and pulling this team together basically and taking over himself.
I mean, this is the reason they are 6-1 in their conference. I mean, if you look at the rankings really quickly in Class 11 AA, they are 6-1. 6-1 for a reason.
Yeah, I mean.
There's another carry. That's
Devontae Murray.
Wow.
You showed no mercy. That hurts. That hurts to
Devontae
watch.
Murphy, big play.
Oh.
Big tackle for Devontae Murphy. That'll set up 2nd and 10 from the 26-yard line. Big tackle.
Oh, the replay. He ran into a wall.
Murray
flattened him like a pancake.
He wasn't having any of Stouts running anymore.
No, why would he?
He was done with it.
That's all they're going to do. Here they go again.
Rescue in motion to the right. Stout's going to pass this time. He's not going to run. He's in trouble. Gets it off, though, and that's going to be a Pierre first down. That's a big break for Pierre as Roosevelt had pressure. They just could not stop that, as that could have been a big play. Should not have ever been completed. It should be 3rd and 11 right now, but now Pierre's got a first down from the Roosevelt 15-yard line. That's bad for Roosevelt, as Pierre has a good chance of going up by 1 point now.
They're going to run this ball.
Oh, yeah.
So they have 440. Oh, sorry.
The fear of Devontae Murphy is still there.
Oh,
but
it is. But
it's always
look
there.
at that right side.
That's wide open.
Here comes a handoff. Right side. Oh,
He's
they
a
actually
fake.
faked the handoff, but right up the middle. back to that last play very quickly, though. I liked the pass.
Yeah.
It was a good situation for the pass, especially with Murray just flattening him the play before. But it was second down. If they would have run the ball or maybe even gone with a shorter pass, I mean, they're running out of room.
That is true.
Now, that's not bad, but and Roosevelt hasn't been able to prove anything this half. But if they score here and they give Roosevelt the ball with 3 minutes left, a field goal wins it.
Yeah.
So you're looking at it that way. If they would have gotten the third down and then gotten the first down, that's wasting another minute and a half.
There's a handoff that only goes for about 1 yard. That's a big stop for Roosevelt. It's 3rd and 6 now. And they might not take another snap till about 3 minutes and 30 seconds as time is running down in this game, as Roosevelt needs to stand strong and get the ball back to their offense. This is 4th down territory. Pierre will go for 4 downs. They will obviously not settle for a field goal here.
I don't see why they wouldn't run the ball here.
Oh, no.
They've shown they've had success on 4th down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they just got to make this 4th and minimal. Here they go.
It's a pass going deep. He got laid out and it is caught.
And who other than Sioux guard? The big 6'5", 215-pound receiver, wide open over the top.
Wide open. I mean, no problem.
Yeah. You just got to cover. That's his, 3rd touchdown pass? You just got. If you can't guard him, then just bring in a double team. And now, this is a big extra point right here. This would be huge if Roosevelt could get a block or a miss right here.
You can hear the student section saying, block it, block it. They did the first time there was a PAT attempt. This one up and
wide,
good.
I think. It is good. I thought it was wide.
Can anybody else believe this? I'm going to go on record right now. It's on the YouTube channel. Pierre has the lead. 34-33. But Eli, what did they do wrong?
They left 3 minutes and 26
That's
seconds left on the
exactly
clock.
right. Exactly right. Roosevelt's defense has struggled. Roosevelt's offense has struggled.
Immensely in the second half.
Absolutely. But 3 minutes and 26 seconds left.
That's a lot of time
That
to
is
work with.
a lot of
That's
time.
a lot of time to work with.
What could win Roosevelt this game?
Just a field goal.
A field goal.
A field goal.
I mean,
That's all we need to know. You got 3 minutes. You got a lot of time left. You only need to get a field goal. You just need to get on the 20-yard line, and you can make a decent shot at a field goal.
So let me
That's a stretch, but still, you can still make a decent shot at a field goal there.
Let me ask you this: does Roosevelt? What do they do? Do they try to pull out a trick play? Do they throw the ball? I mean, Dandenbring is a poised passer.
Yep.
He's good in the pocket. Do we see him scramble? Do we see more of the option that obviously hasn't worked? What do we see? I'll start with you.
Well, Roosevelt, they're just going to try and get down the field, center it up, get close enough, and try and settle for a field goal. Well, in high school football, you're going to want to try and score a touchdown, but, I mean, a field goal wins it, as Pierce is just going to kick it short.
I don't like that at all either.
Nope, I would have kicked that deep.
Now Roosevelt's going to have good field position, as that's number 23, Amir Muhammad, on the return, and Roosevelt will start at the 36 with good field position, as they have to go 64 yards on 320, and we thought this game was going to be a blowout. Excuse me, not a fun game to commentate, but this has turned into a really fun game.
So you're looking at that.
Yeah.
Feldkamp obviously is a threat back there.
Big time threat.
But do you really chip it and now give them the ball at the 35? I mean, I say you got to trust your defense.
Oh, yeah.
And
Their defense has had no issue with
make
it.
them work. Yeah, absolutely.
We
They've
saw the
got
run
them
from
to third
Tucker
down.
Large, and he started at the 20. He got up to the 25. Their defense, they got to like the 30, and that was the first thing.
Dandenbring.
He's got Betancourt wide open. He makes the catch down inside the 20, down to the 15. A huge play for the Rough Riders, and they'll have the ball at the 15-yard line, already in field goal range, but they're going to look for a touchdown. And now if you're the Riders, you want to burn the clock, score a touchdown, and not give Pierre much time to score again.
But with a capital B-U-N-T, there's 3 minutes and 12 seconds left. If they score a field goal here and don't take their time, Pierre could still come marching on the field and score in. We've seen it in 7 seconds. We saw it last year. We scored in 7 seconds. They scored 70-yard touchdown in 7 seconds, I think. But, I mean, there's 3 minutes left.
Pierre's got to call their timeouts.
Oh, yes.
Pierre has to call their timeouts.
They got 3 of them.
Especially, with the 2nd and 6 here. They stopped him for a short gain. I don't see Roosevelt passing the ball here again.
No.
Run the ball, make them call their timeouts.
And now you got to see Bennett Yellowbird warming up on the sideline, stretching out, getting ready, because he might have to attempt a big field goal. They're going to try the option, keep it again, and Dannenberg will turn something or nothing into something, and he'll get about 2 yards, and that'll set up a 3rd and 5 for the Riders from their 10-yard line. Do you guys think they pass the ball, or do you think they just keep it on the ground?
I keep it on the ground. I wouldn't. That's me personally. They have a strong run game right now. As long as you get 4th and 3, kick a field goal, run as much time as possible, because if you throw it and make an incompletion, you give a timeout.
You got to run the ball.
Yeah.
Roosevelt could use a timeout maybe to get things going, but they might just run the ball, run the clock down, hopefully get a field goal, and trust their defense to get a stop.
Roosevelt is looking in the face of 3 consecutive losses. Here's Dannenberg scrambling to the outside, and he goes out of bounds. Did he get the first?
Yes, he did get the first down. It looked like he's about the 4-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down. That's a big run by Dannenberg.
That is huge, because that allows them to. The only issue is he ran out of bounds.
Yeah.
So he stops the clock. But still, huge, because they are now on the 4-yard line. They have a ton of time to work with. They just need to get 4 yards. That's all you need to do. 4 yards. Or kick in the field goal. And waste as much time as they can.
And absolutely, Pierre is going to have to call their timeouts now, right? You would think so.
They have 3 of them. Why
But
wouldn't you?
I don't see why Roosevelt wouldn't waste every single second.
I would waste as much time as possible. Just run it.
Don't score.
He is.
And he got in.
He is. See what they.
Let's hope he's on. If they hope he's on the 1.
It looks like the far official.
They're going to mark him short of the goal line. He's going to be about the half-yard line. Pierre will likely use a timeout, I think.
From Roosevelt's perspective, that's not horrible.
No,
You're that
absolutely not.
close, you can still score.
Pierre will use a timeout. They still have 2 left, which would be enough to go down and score, but we'll see what happens when we come back. Welcome back to Howard Field in this presentation of high school football. With 1:33 left in the 4th quarter, the Pierre Governors lead the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders 34-33, but Roosevelt has the ball literally at the 1-inch mark on 2nd down. Pierre has 2 timeouts remaining after they just used one. What does Roosevelt do on this play?
I mean, they're going to score here, but
If they don't, that'd be very sad.
if they don't, it's not the end of the world. Force Pierre to call a timeout and then get your points.
Yeah.
High snap. Jaden Bourne is not in. He's going to be short.
I think he got it on the reach.
They
But-
are going to mark him short, I believe. Pierre will
They
use
need to put
another
Cruz in.
timeout, I bet. Yeah, he's marked short.
That is definitely okay for the Riders.
Yes, it is, because it forces Pierre to burn another timeout, and if Roosevelt scores, I mean, they have 1 timeout to go on the field in a minute, 15 seconds.
There's no replay in high school football, but that was incredibly close. It looked like he reached over and might have gotten it.
What I think they should do now is either
Quarterback sneak right up the middle.
have a quarterback sneak or do a power play with Adam Kusler.
You know what they shouldn't do?
Is pass it.
The option. Oh, yeah, that too.
Or pass it. Yeah, that'd be very bad.
Yeah, don't.
Or try and run it to the left side, because even if you get tackled, it should just be a chip shot field goal. for
That's
Bennett
right.
Yellowbird.
You'll
But
be straight on.
You'd rather score a touchdown, though, to force Pierre to score a touchdown, not just get into field goal range. With the field goal, because it's a 2-point game, field goal would win it. And instead, score a touchdown, go for 2, get up by 7. And then, yeah, make it a 7-point game.
I do like the run to the left, though, because that would allow them to be centered on, straight up, and it would give them an easier chance at a field goal. It wouldn't pull a Blair Walsh or something wide left.
Because 18 yards on the right or left hash is a tricky angle. for a
Yes, it
kicker.
is. Mhm.
It's a tricky angle. It's a short field goal, but it's a
Oh,
tricky
look at this.
angle.
They're going with the
We're doing
the
the power
power.
play.
They're going Jaden Bourne, though, in the
They're
back.
doing Dannenberg in the backfield. But it makes sense since he's long.
And he is in for the Roosevelt touchdown. Brady Dannenbrink from 1 yard away. And the Riders take the lead late. It's 39-34. And the Riders will go for 2 to make this a 7-point game with 1:18 remaining. Pierre, though, has 1 timeout and has been dynamic on offense in the second half. And they are not out of this game yet. They still have a shot to come back and score.
The only problem with Pierre is what have they been doing most of the game?
Running.
They
Running the
haven't
ball.
had success throwing the football.
Except for that one time on 3rd down. I think, what have we seen the last 2 drives from Pierre?
Runs. That's it.
Well, the big touchdowns were
Big
just
touchdowns are
Stuttgart.
throws.
Yes,
If
they gotta use their big wide receiver.
If I were Roosevelt, I personally would double up on Sioux guard.
I'd double up on every wide receiver.
Yeah.
Force them to run the ball. They have 1 timeout. If they can get down the field in 1 minute and 18 seconds by running the ball, props to them. Play defense on this side of the field. Do not let them throw over the top and take easy yards.
And
Or-
also, guard the sidelines. Don't let them get constant 10-yard gains and get out of bounds.
Yep.
Guard the sidelines. It is not NFL, though, so if they get the first down, the clock will stop. Like the Vikings you saw against the Eagles, they just guarded the sidelines, allowed them to throw the middle of the field. They were up by 9, ran down the clock. So, but this is not NFL, so I assume Roosevelt won't do that, and they cannot let they cannot let anybody get behind them.
Now, this is a huge play. This 2-point conversion here. Actually,
They're gonna go for it.
they're going to go for it.
It makes sense to go for 2.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
But it's not the
puts
end of
them
the
ahead
world
if they don't get it.
if they don't get
Because
it.
it's still, they need
have
more
to
than a.
score a touchdown.
They
Yep,
still
they
need
still
a
have to score a
touchdown.
touchdown.
So I mean,
Let's see what they'll do here. I think they might just run it again.
It's going to be some sort of trickery here. They spread them out wide.
It might just be some sort of handoff to Tyler Feldkamp to try and get him to the outside.
It's a
It is
pass.
a pass, and it is
Intercepted. Ouch.
that
Comes down
hurt.
hard on his
Now
back and
Pierre-
his head.
Now Pierre wins the game on a touchdown.
That's
So it's a
it.
big stop by the Governor defense. And now Pierre's just one clutch offensive drive away from a touchdown, and they're going for everything on 4th down. But what Pierre really needs is a long kick return, and Roosevelt can't let him get anywhere past the 35 yards.
I still think Roosevelt has to kick it deep here, though.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen the little chip shots. They haven't been able to do much, but giving them that field position makes it that much closer to the end zone. And yes, that was a big 2-point conversion, but they still would have had to score a touchdown regardless.
Yes.
So it had its risks and rewards, but what did you think about the pass? It was a pass on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, they've been dominant running the ball the whole 4th quarter. I would have just ran the ball to Jaden Bourne right up the middle.
Or even do their normal power play.
Yeah,
The
I like the power play. That's what scored them the touchdown. That's what scored them a touchdown down here.
They can get massive amounts of yards on just that small power play. Just get some big dudes and run it.
They were stopped on the 2-point conversion on the first touchdown of the
is
game,
true.
though.
But then they
by the
fixed
power
that.
play.
They had
True.
Devontae come around it. So I mean,
So were they just trying to do the pass to throw them off guard?
I'm
Or-
guessing.
That would make
That's
sense.
what
I
I'm
guess,
thinking
but-
because they split them out wide, trying to throw them off.
But you
I'm
like the
guessing.
power play?
Yeah, I like the. That's a nice. That's a solid play. That's always at least guaranteeing you a few yards. It's
Bennett Yellowbird will kick it somewhat deep. He'll kick it to the 17-yard line. Now Roosevelt can't let Pierre get good field position. There's Stout on the kick return, or that's Resky, and he gets all the way out to about the 37-yard line. That's good field position for Pierre. With 1:09, they have 1 timeout left. Roosevelt just maybe send a guy back on defense so then it doesn't get over their head, and they just don't let anybody get behind them.
Yeah, put your best wide receiver down here, like the 10-yard line. Don't let anybody by you, and just knock the ball down.
Yep.
69 seconds to go down the field.
They're not going to run the football.
They're not going to run the football, and as you
They
can
have
see,
to
the
throw the
spread
ball.
formation
if I were
here.
Roosevelt, I'd have 2 safeties split out on the 20-yard line.
Do not let anybody behind you.
That's knocked away.
Very
Great
smart.
defense by Isaac Orr and the linebacker. And it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Governors from their own 38-yard line. And Pierre, I mean, they have 5 touchdown passes, but Garrett Stout also has 3 interceptions and a turnover here or a turnover downs. That's game. Roosevelt needs it 3 times and the game's over.
Yeah, this is the only issue with that is when they bat it down, then they give them a free break. They stop the clock.
Look at Roosevelt pushing pressure right against that line. And Feldkamp over there, he should be backing up, again, letting nobody behind him.
And he jumps back up a few steps. And he's going downfield. That ball is over the head.
That's
That
exactly
could've
the
been a big
problem.
play.
That is exactly the problem,
That
though.
was going-
Stuttgart.
That was going for shoe guard. And
He's
that was
humongous, and he can keep up with Feldkamp.
And absolutely, they need to be double teaming him, putting even 4 or 5 guys back there. Have a spy on the quarterback, 4 or 5 guys covering the 3 guys deep at the 40. Let them get the first down. I mean, let them push up down the field as long as they don't score a touchdown.
Or even be a little cheap. Give him a holding call. That's better than giving up a 60-yard
That's
touchdown.
right.
Hold them. Don't do a pass interference. Just hold them.
Pass interference would just give them 5 extra yards. Not like the NFL spotted the foul.
So
3rd and 10 for Stout.
pass interference, hold them. Doesn't matter. Do something to make sure that they don't catch the ball. If you throw them, push them out of bounds before they even get them close to the ball, that's fine.
Stout takes a snap. Stout trying to scramble. Stout is going to
He's gonna run it.
Run the football. He cannot get out of bounds. He does not get the first down. The clock is going to keep running. Let's see if Pierre uses their timeout. They are not. They're going to try and hurry up to the line. It's 4th down. This is the game right here. If they don't get this, it's over. There's down to 35 seconds remaining, and Pierre's got to hurry. They're still not using a timeout. It's going to be under 30 seconds by the time they snap the football. It's 4th and 2 from their own 46. This is the ball game right here.
I'm watching third
Stout
screen.
hands it off. He is
Across.
got the first down.
And now they're going to call their timeout.
With
19 seconds left.
19 seconds remaining. They just got to start throwing the ball downfield as they're going to try and hurry up and clock it and save their timeout.
I don't like that call because they have a timeout to use.
They're not even going to clock it either.
They're going to run the clock out
17,
before they can call a timeout.
15 seconds, down to 14, 13. Takes the snap. Roosevelt's just got to get deep. They're going down the field. That pass is intercepted by Devlin McManus, and that ends the game. Wow, what a great game here at Howard Wood Field. And hey, we still have one more game to go. That's a 39-34 victory for the Riders, surviving after being up 26-0. It is 34-33. Roosevelt scores a touchdown after that deep play to Jacob Betancourt, and Devlin McManus with his 4th turnover. 3 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery. What a huge game for Devlin McManus.
And Roosevelt is going to they're going to win a game, and that they
gain some confidence.
They do gain some confidence. They lost their last 2, and Pierre takes their first loss since the first week of the season.
Dan and Brain will take a knee, and that will do it. With tonight's win, the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders end a 2-game losing streak and improve to 6-2 as the Rough Riders head into the final week of the season. With the loss, Pierre's 6-game win streak comes to an end as the Governors fall to 6-2. Both the Rough Riders and Governors will be back in action next Thursday when they play their final game for the regular season. The Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders, this was their final home game. They will play the Watertown Arrows in Watertown, while Pierre will host Aberdeen Central. Once again, the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders defeat Pierre 39-34. For the members of the broadcast team, Eli Cadoon, Brent Bartos, Mark Johnson, Matt Owen Hansen, Logan Cadoon, Karen Morales, Matt May, I'm Brent Bowen. Thank you for watching this broadcast of high school football on KLRN.